American Legion Baseball and the American Legion Baseball World Series right here on The Boss.
Well, all I want is a party doll. Come along with me when I'm feeling wild. Be ever loving true and fair. Run her fingers through my hair. Come along and be my party doll. Come along and be my party doll. Come along and be my party doll. I'll make love to you, to you. I'll make love to you. Well, I saw a gal walking down the street. Kind of a gal I love me. She had blonde hair and her eyes are blue. And baby, I wanna have a party with you. Come along and be my party doll. Come along and be my party doll. Come along and be my party doll. I'll make love to you, to you. I'll make love to you. Every man has got to have a party doll to be with him, but when we're feeling wild, to be ever loving the true and fair, to run her fingers through his hair, to run her fingers through his hair. Come along and be my party doll. Come along and be my party doll. Come along and be my party doll. I'll make love to you, to you. I'll make love to you. Come along and be my party doll. Come along and be my party doll. Come along and be my party doll. I'll make love to you, to you. I'll make love to you.
Since I've been gone, you've had your number changed. But my love for you, girl, still remains the same. Now I've been loving you, and you've been loving me so long. Baby, what's wrong? So I'm begging, baby, 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 please let me have your number, yeah. Baby, 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 please let me have your number.
I'm sorry you couldn't call me when you got home. But other fellas kept on calling while you were gone. So I had the number changed, but I'm not acting strange. Welcome home. Nothing's wrong. So I'm saying, baby, 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 you can have my private number. Baby, 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 you can have my private number.
Oh, thank you.
Baby, 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 you can have my private number. Baby, baby, baby,
For giving me your private number.
you can have it.
Thank you, baby.
Keeping you so close to the action, you can feel it.
Touchdown!
Your sports leader, WHS Shelby, WLON Lincoln, WCSL Cherryville Gastonia, and W268CU Shelby.
This is Terry Reinhardt with the Renato Auto Mall scoreboard for Friday, November the 10th, 2017. It was Swain County 42, Cherryville 14, Lincoln 39, Graham 19, East Montgomery 30, East Rutherford 7. Reidsville defeated West Lincoln 51-0. Patton 26, North Surrey 10. Community School of Davison 29, South Stokes 22. Union Academy 42, Allegheny 14. It was High Brighton over Bandy's 57-6. Fred T. Ford beat Maiden 16-0. It was Mountain Pleasant 35, East Lincoln 0. Shelby over Newton Conover 49-20. South Point 48, West Iredale 0. It was Crest 49, Monroe 20. Rockingham County 47, Freedom 29. Kings Mountain 48, Forest View 13, Weddington 55, Hickory 24, Hunter Huss 34, West Rowan 14. It was Stuart Kramer defeating Concord 21-20. Charlotte Catholic 43, West Caldwell 7. Alexander Central loses to Cupperson 35-28. It was Watauga 21, Asheville 9, and Mount Tabor defeats Ashbrook 34-6. This has been Terry Reinhardt with the Renato Auto Mall scoreboard.
Considering hardwood flooring for your home? Then head to Flooring America in Kings Mountain or Carpet One Interiors in Ranlow. Right now, at both locations, you'll find a big selection of in-stock hardwoods on sale, priced as low as $2.99 a square foot. That's right, only $2.99 a square foot at Flooring America, located at 602 Slater Street in Kings Mountain and Carpet One Interiors in Ranlow.
Where are you eating breakfast today? Have you tried the Hub Cafe located inside Medical Arts Pharmacy? The Hub opens at 7 a.m. Monday through Friday and 8 a.m. on Saturday, serving an old-fashioned country breakfast at affordable prices. You'll find homemade biscuits, bacon, country sausage, country ham, liver mush, eggs, omelets, all cooked to order on the grill. Call 487-0511 or come on into the Hub Cafe for a delicious country breakfast located inside Medical Arts Pharmacy, 108 Grover Street, Shelby.
The grand opening celebration continues at Renato Honda in Shelby. Come visit the brand new showroom and check out the great deals at Renato Honda. Right now, get 0.9% APR financing on all 2017 model Honda Pilots, Honda Accords, and Honda Civics. That's right, 0.9% APR financing. And in the service department, get ready for Old Man Winter with a free battery and charging system test. And get an oil change, tire rotation, and balancing for only $74.95 at Renato Honda. At Renato Auto Mall, 4423 East Dixon Boulevard, Shelby.
Cakes and cookies, toys and gifts, Christmas at your fingertips.
It's the shopping event of the season, the Southern Christmas Show, November 9th through 19th at the Park Expo and Conference Center. Join us to celebrate the show's silver and gold 50th anniversary and shop hundreds of booths to find one-of-a-kind gifts for everyone on your list. Buy tickets online and save at southernchristmasshow.com.
Let's go to the Southern Christmas Show.
Z-Max Racing Classics, Friday afternoons at 1 o'clock from the Performance Racing Network, right here on 1590 AM WCSL, Cherryville, Gastonia.
I'm Lon Helton, inviting you to join me as I count down the week's top 30 with my co-host Chris Jansen, who just got to play with Keith Urban.
We just did some duets at the Opry a few weeks ago, and it was amazing. And we'd covered some 90s country. We'd covered some John Michael Montgomery, which was so random. Man, it was just an incredible moment.
That's Chris Jansen this week on Country Countdown USA.
Country Countdown USA with Lon Helton, Wednesday afternoons at 1 o'clock on Carolina Country, 1590 AM WCSL, and online at KTCBroadcasting.com. The grand opening celebration continues at Renato Honda in Shelby. Come visit the brand new showroom and check out the great deals at Renato Honda. Right now, get 0.9% APR financing on all 2017 model Honda Pilots, Honda Accords, and Honda Civics. That's right, 0.9% APR financing. And in the service department, get ready for Old Man Winter with a free battery and charging system test. And get an oil change, tire rotation, and balancing for only $74.95 at Renato Honda. At Renato Auto Mall, 4423 East Dixon Boulevard, Shelby.
Cakes and cookies, toys and gifts. Christmas at your fingertips.
It's the shopping event of the season, the Southern Christmas Show, November 9th through 19th at the Park Expo and Conference Center. Join us to celebrate the show's silver and gold 50th anniversary and shop hundreds of booths to find one-of-a-kind gifts for everyone on your list. Buy tickets online and save at SouthernChristmasShow.com.
Let's go to the Southern Christmas Show.
Check out what the Green Meadows Golf Club on Kelly Road in Mount Holly has to offer. On Wednesday, you can play all day for $28, including cart and green fee. And ladies, Wednesday is your day too. Ladies play and ride all day for only $15. To make your tee time, call the Green Meadows Golf Club at 704-827-9264. You'll love it. The Green Meadows Golf Club, located at 957 Kelly Road in Mount Holly. Come see what they have to offer.
There you go, Ann. Your new account is now open. Just one more little thing.
Here's your card.
What was that?
It's my new bank. Every time I turn around, I get hit with another fee.
You need to get an account at Carolina Federal Credit Union.
She's right.
Tired of getting hit by bank fees? Switch to Carolina Federal Credit Union today. Make those pains go away.
Here's your receipt.
Honey, I am officially on break. This cold McDonald's McCafe drink is really chilling me out.
Oh, me too. I'm officially on break from worrying about the weird sound coming from the garbage disposal.
And I'm officially on break from having to think about cleaning out the garage.
You've been thinking about that for 3 or 4 years.
Yeah, it's about time I had a break from thinking about it.
For a limited time, get every size soft drink or Mickey D's sweet tea for $1. Or a small McCafe frappe smoothie or shake for just $2. Prices and participation may vary. A la carte only.
Only do things incredible can, 'cause I am the seed of a chosen breed. You don't see too many like me, 'cause I am one of the reasons you do what you do when you wanna be me instead of you, 'cause I am still on beat, showing love to the streets. Come on, you know me, 'cause that's who I am.
What's up, Saturday morning sports talk? Campers in of Kings Mountain, good morning and good breakfast from Mitchem's Kitchen, 704-276. I don't got the menu there in front of me, Terry. What's the number again? Hey, let me turn you on. How about that, Terry?
Might help us out a lot.
I was doing good without you.
I'm telling you.
11:55, right?
Yeah, everybody in this world needs to hear.
We've got 4 different food sponsors, so I'm trying to. I got them all in my head, so every now and then a number gets mixed up. So, Mitchem's Kids Sports Talk. JP's here, Terry and Phillip. He thinks that our opening music is his walk down the hall music. I think.
He must have got stuck on that 30 for 30 with Ric Flair.
Yeah.
He's like, here I go. Here's my
The
music.
nature boy over here thinks that's his walk-up music.
Wait a minute, he
He's
don't
supposed to
have
be
that-
here about 15 minutes ago eating his biscuit.
Yeah, the red carpet, man. He needs a red carpet coming
The
in.
bell had already rung. I mean, JP coming in late. Last night, guys, fun night of football. Round one. Didn't really think we was having any upsets, Terry. Then all of a sudden, score comes in. And let's start there, and then let's go across the region with all our scores here in the Western 1A, 2A, and 3A brackets, and we'll give a couple extras here and there, too.
Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with the 1A, and I'm only going to do the West because the East can have their battles right now, and we'll worry about the West. It was Elkin over Hayesville 50-7 last night. Next up for Elkin will be Thomas Jefferson. It was Union Academy 42, Allegheny 14. Next up for Union Academy will be Cherokee. It was Robbinsville 57, Rosman 16. Robbinsville now comes to Mountain Island Charter. Community School of Davison pulled off the first upset last night, a 29-22 win over South Stokes. It was a 9-8, but Community School of Davison moves on to go play Mitchell. In other brackets, now into 1AA. In the West, it was Murphy 44, South Stanley 13, East Surrey 21, Starmount 14, Swain County 42, Cherryville 14. Next up for Swain County will be Bessemer City this coming week. It was Polk County over North Rowan 30-22. In the 2A bracket, it was Red Springs 19, Salisbury 7, Hendersonville 49, Brevard 0, Whiteville 45, North Wilkes 13. It was a Mountain Heritage 51, Lexington 28. It was Lincoln and on the road at Graham pulling off a win 39-19 for the Lincoln and Wolves. It was South Columbus 14, Wheatmore 0. Next week, Lincoln goes to South Columbus. It was East Montgomery 30, East Rutherford 7, and Reedsville over West Lincoln 51-0. In the 2AA bracket, it was Pisgah 34, Wilkes Central 20, Franklin 52, Smoky Mountain 27, Patton 26, North Surrey 10, High Brighton over Bandy's 57-6. The upset of the night to me was Fred T. Ford 16, Maiden 0. And every time I think of that, I'm thinking, you know, are you looking past Fred T. Ford because you had already beat them, Phillip, or, I mean, what could have happened?
Whoa. First of all, Terry, upset of the night. Lincoln beat Graham.
Yeah, but this is
well. I would say that I text Shannon during the pregame show. The thing to kind of keep in mind again for Maiden was Kentrell Williams, their running back, big time running back, 1,000-yard rusher on the season. The first play from scrimmage against Lincoln, he actually pulled up and hurt something in his right leg, and was actually brought off the field, carried off the field, and he never came back in the ballgame. So the very first play of the game, he goes from being on the field to he sat 3.75 of that 4 quarters. He sat on the bench. So going in there, knowing that Maiden needed that running attack, you know, they were very limited throughout that game against Lincoln, and they were limited. They had to rely on the quarterback run. And I said all along, you know, that's going to hurt them going into the next week. And it looks like that Ford went in there, basically just put a QB spy. Maybe I don't know the statistics of that game, but I figure that they found a way to stop that quarterback. And if they stopped the quarterback, they would win the ball game. And it sounds like that's kind of what they did in that game.
I know one of the guys that I spoke to last night of the game, he said Fred T. Ford would have the ball for 5 to 7 minutes every time they got it. You know, and keeping your offense off the field for Maiden. So again, Fred T. Ford, a huge win last night again, 16-0 over Maiden. Next up for Fred T. Ford will be Mount Pleasant, a 35-0 win over East Lincoln, and that will be at Mount Pleasant. It was Shelby 49, Newton Con over 20, and South Point 48, West Iredell 0. Next week, Shelby makes that return trip to South Point. These two teams have met 4 times in the playoffs. Shelby has won every game, and after Shelby has been beaten in the regular season by South Point, they have come back to defeat them in the playoffs 2-0 all time.
Well, Terry, I'll tell you the big thing there is, you know, this time of year you have to make sure your best player is on both sides of the football. And last night, both the Hollifield boys were in the backfield several times, especially inside the red zone. They would put Dax and his brother, and I don't know if anybody's ever seen Dax's little brother.
I don't know how you call him little brother.
Yeah.
Because he's a foot taller than his brother, it looks like. I mean, he looks D1 quality, just on size. They would put them in the backfield and run more like a full house set. And Day Brooks, he doesn't like to be touched. I think that little bit of a wrinkle.
He about what last night? 132.
I mean, like that little wrinkle in their offense may help them, but I'm going to tell you that red machine in Belmont, that thing's well oiled and ready, and it's revving its engines right now. I mean, if I'm Shelby, I'm nervous. I mean, I know we've got the game plan. You pull it out. Talking to a lot of Shelby people, they said that looking at the film, they saw some pieces that they didn't realize during the game they weren't able to fix. They were getting a lot of play down on the linebackers and blocking schemes. And I was just nodding and listening because, honestly, when I watched football Friday night, they turned and handed off a fullback dive. Jake Alexander went all the way to the house untouched. So they've got to figure out something, and that's a very hard thing to do for a very young defense. I mean, I know Shelby's got a lot of experience on that side of the ball, but when you're doing triple option, you have got to stay at home, be defensive-minded, and do your responsibility. And you can't be the big play hunter. You have to tackle the dive, tackle the pitch, tackle the quarterback. And I just think, that's going to be a tough week of practice, and really you should just spend your time on defense to stop the red bone.
Well, I know last time that they also played big plays in the game, we always talk about special teams, and that's what turned the game around at the very start. Shelby getting ready to punt, it's blocked. Next thing you know, South Point's in the end zone, and they're down. And we've always said when you have to make the trip to Belmont, in most places you go, you're down 3 to 7 points because the team's playing at home.
Right. You walk
but
in
it's 14-0 down there.
And then they hit them with 2 quick touchdowns. So going down 14-0 in the first 2 minutes of the ball game, that was something. But there was some stuff that we saw last night that, from Shelby, at least from that standpoint, they threw a lot of slants. Probably the hardest route to cover in high school football. So if their slant game is there, they're already obviously changing up their offensive scheme a little bit by putting those Hollifield boys in the backfield to block. They actually threw a pass to Dax Hollifield in a flat. So, Lance is doing what he can with the athletes. He's basically realizing it's playoff time, and you have to put your best players on both sides of the ball.
Yeah, and another thing also for Newton Conover, a great year, finished second in the conference, but when you got to the playoffs, I mean, I'm on your side when I think of number 8 playing a number 9, and it's you two playing each other, Newton Conover Shelby. I don't think that was totally correct, but that's my own opinion.
Right. And it was hard for Newton. It was very obvious that they were down a running back. I mean, I think if their running back was maybe in play, they could have had a different outcome. But it was really the one-man show. I mean, the quarterback's playing the quarterback, and he had, 105-yard interception for a touchdown there before half. I mean, he was doing everything he could to keep his team in the ball game, and that was a lot for that young man. That young man probably helped his recruitment out a whole lot. If his grades are there, what he showed against Shelby, because you say they don't really care what you do against crappy teams. It's when you go against a proven program that's really good, and what impact can you have. And that kid for Newton Conover last night, his impact was seen, felt, and he was on both sides of the ball making huge plays for his team.
Yeah, and another thing also, when you talk about Tyler Stinson, without Tyler Stinson, Newton Conover went 2-2. So that shows how much that young man meant to that squad. It's just another body. It's a place to feel. Plus, he's your running back, and he's a pretty big guy.
He's big. He's a really big.
Yeah.
I didn't know he was a running back. I thought, he's straight defensive end. That's how, if you ask me, that's how I would have thought. That's how big the kid is when you see him. And so, and the fact you lose your main running back, it's tough. Besmer's had some issues this year in close games with some injuries. They've got 3 really key guys back there, and it seems like they've only been together for a couple of games.
Yes, right.
2 or 3 games the whole year. How is the health situation over there as far as that? They host Swain County, who we'll talk to maybe Coach Pruitt here in a little bit. They host Swain County next week, who beat Cherryville last night after the fire.
Yeah, they had the fire, the power outage.
The Hall of Fame called fire.
Well, I will tell you that, Bessemer City, at least going in the bye week, Coach Boone kind of slow played the whole week. It was more of – because it's kind of hard to prepare for 2 teams. You don't really want to go out there and run your Cherryville scheme.
The good news about that, Philip, is that you've played Cherryville twice.
Right.
So the coaches, I guess, could spend a little more film study on Swain this week.
Yeah, and the health situation, when you have a bye week, number one, you don't want to lose the kids. You got to keep them in a routine.
Yeah.
So they kept them in that routine. They kept them in the film room. They done some light practice and just go out there, just clean up. And I talked with Coach Boone several times in the hallway passing, and he was, focusing on mesh points, focusing on reads, focusing on, hitting bags, not going body to body at all this week. And more just fine-tuning what they do, and we've talked about that from August till this point now. It's not about your scheme. It's not about, who you play. It's more or less, can we fix us? Mm-hmm. We can only beat ourselves, and, as long as we're perfect, that other team's got to be perfect. And he's got everybody healthy. There's no grade issues, no discipline issues. I mean, I think he's going to go into this set Friday night against Swain with, all the cards in the deck. There's not going to be something missing. I do know that he lost a guy, and I know that Jarkevius Love's still probably going to be down with his ankle in a boot.
It's fullback, right?
It is a starting fullback, but they do have that really raw kid, sophomore, Keontae Degree. He came in last year, started defensive line as a freshman. This year he's played defensive line and fullback. He's got the other gunner that can run fullback. So
yeah, he played quite a bit against Cherryville the other night, the brother.
Right, and with both of those, I mean, he's able to two-platoon, and he's got guys. We've got depth this year there, and the biggest fear for me, not looking past Swain County, but I was kind of interested in seeing that Polk County North game. That's a potential third ground deal. And to see Polk upset North Rowan, I felt like if Bessemer had to go against North Rowan, I was like, oh, that's going to be athlete versus athlete, kind of like a Shelby Newton, Shelby Hunter Huss kind of game. Mm-hmm. And then Polk County comes in there, and, at least to me, I felt like that was a little bit of an upset. So if Bessemer gets through Swain County, very interested to see that Polk County game. I think
but they've got to beat a Mount Airy team who's 11-0 right now, too, and in Mount Airy. Looking at the Bessemer team, Xavion Williams, you've got to. I know, how's his ankle and health?
Oh, I mean,
is he ready to rock now?
Yeah, I mean, he's good.
The biggest thing with me in watching, some of the 1A games this year is that when you've got the fastest player on the field, sometimes if you can get him the ball in space, he can make things happen. Right. And Terry, he's one of those backs, and he's not, and he does everything. He'll get an interception or a punt return, a kick return. You get the kid the ball, right? He's one of those people in high school that can also change change direction, and he's so fast he can go left,
just
stop,
like the Harris
shake
kid
one or
from
two
Lincoln,
kids, and then go back. Right,
mm-hmm.
right. When you've got to get those kids the ball, and I think it's playoff time. We fed the fullback all year. The playmaker time in here in the playoffs now. And I think Xavion will be a big key to that. As fast as they can.
The last thing I'd say about Bessemer is the secondary. Thomas Jefferson exposed them.
North Lincoln did too.
And North Lincoln, yeah, exactly.
North Lincoln did.
And I don't know what it is with the corners and the safeties, but it's
usually communication, Phil,
right.
Playing back there. I played with one of the best athletes that's ever played here in Cherryville, and he got picked on all the time because he would be in the wrong place. And you could just throw to his side, and coach couldn't figure it out. And I'm like, I don't know. I'm where I'm supposed to be. They're not throwing my side. I'm happy about that. I'm not getting picked on. But a lot of times that is between that safety. You talk about, especially against South Point. And they run the option. That safety's got to make a decision. Is he going to help out? And then the play action last night. Who was it that was getting eat up on the play action that we were talking about? Was it the Shelby game? One of the games I was listening to on the radio. It might have been Cherryville. Somebody was getting eat up in play action on last night. And I feel the backfield has to talk to each other before it is know exactly what's going on. And then like I said, Williams gets some picks, but when do you gamble? When not to gamble? You can't gamble at the wrong time. Because the big plays in these 1A football games are going to change the games.
Well, and I don't even think that just is limited to N1A. I know Terry follows a lot of the Lincoln.
Well, I was
County
making the
football.
point as far as cause of if you've got the fastest player on the field type thing, and I think 2A and 3, there's a little bit more. There's a lot of speed on the field.
With that, you mentioned earlier about an upset with Lincoln, and I don't know that was an upset because
I was joking.
Xavion is Harris. Harris runs to one side of the field, runs the other. At one point last night, he was over 250. Yeah. I don't know what his finish is.
278.
I mean, 278 yards rushing. I mean, and that kid probably was not. It was not probably just run to the left and got a hole. He probably ran left, made a guy miss, went across the field right. And
you saying that's not downhill running for 270?
No, he is a.
Well, that's just like we sat back and we were speaking last night. And I said he had 278. Just a couple games ago, he had 318. I mean, this thing got 600 yards in 2 games.
Exactly.
That's just crazy.
And as long as he keeps doing what he's doing, it's going to open up things for McLean at the quarterback and be able to get the ball out to Hollis and some of those other guys. But definitely right now, Harris is the hot man. Like I said, at at North Lincoln, somebody dipped him in gasoline and lit a match and put him on fire, and he's not cooled down yet.
Since that game. All right, Terry, go back to where was we?
Alrighty, we are now over into the 3A bracket.
All right.
It was Crest over Monroe, 49-20, and they will play J.M. Roberson, 69-35 win over Tuscola. Crest will be on the road. Other games, it was Rockingham County, 47, Freedom 29. Next up for Rockingham County will be a trip over here to Kings Mountain, a 48-13 win over Forest View. It was Weddington 55, Hickory 24. Next up for Weddington will be a trip down here into Gastonia to play Hunter Huss, a 34-14 win over West Rowan. Stuart Kramer, Concord led 20-19, and then a special teams. That's right. Punt that was hiked over the punter's head ends up being a safety.
That was the second one in the last 2 minutes of that ball game for the
Storm. 2 safeties for the win.
Stuart Kramer wins 21-20.
At home. Hey, how much partying and fun do they
But could you imagine being on that sideline after last year's Franklin loss? How disheartening that was for them to lose by field goal to Franklin, and then this year, to win a game against a Concord team that has had a strong season by 2 safeties. Defense wins championships, folks.
But next up for Stuart Kramer will be a nice trip down to Charlotte Catholic, a 43-7 win over West Caldwell. In the 3AA bracket, it was A.L. Brown 44, Asheville Irwin 34, South Iredale 44, Northwest Cabarrus 34. It was Southwest Guilford 48, Statesville 0, AC Reynolds 52, Parkland 6. It was Marvin Ridge losing to Sun Valley 45-35. Cupperson goes up to Alexander Central and defeats Alexander Central 35-28. And Alexander Central falls to 4-17 all time in playoffs. It was Watauga 21, Asheville 9, and Mount Tabor over Ashbrook 34-6.
And then you had South Caldwell with their first playoff win of the 2017 playoff schedule with the bye at 1-9.
Yeah, here we go to the NCAA.
That made me so mad last night. Like, I knew that they'd made the playoffs. I didn't know these fools gave them a bye.
Yes.
They gave them a bye.
They're the number 2 seed.
Number 2 seed and they're 1-9.
Holy Christmas.
So since they get a bye, can we count that as a win and make them 2-9 now?
So is Max Preps they run high school sports throughout the country then? Is that what we're at now?
Yes.
This website, we've allowed this website to run all the sports now. That is the most silliest thing ever. And we talked about, if you're going to give them a playoff berth, fine. Reseed them. It's not that hard. Hey, we got records, Terry. Let's look at this. We got 11-2, 9-2, 8-2. I got all this stuff written down right here with the records. Can we not add?
Well, here's my deal.
And you said the commissioner don't even know how they come up with
Q
the
Tucker
rankings.
come out and said she had no idea of how they rank them. But here's my deal. I think we're supposed to be doing 1 through 16.
Yeah.
And it's supposed to be, and if people want to say, I'll say this, it was Reedsville playing West Lincoln. That's probably a 1 versus a 16.
Makes sense.
But when you get to the South Caldwell.
In fact, West Lincoln should have been a 15 because Graham had a home game at 3-8.
Well, but when you get to South Caldwell, and there's nothing wrong with them. These guys are going to take this, but you finish 1-10, you finish 7th in an 8-team conference. And I thought we were supposed to do this 1 through 16. That don't mean South Caldwell's a number 2 seed.
And I'll tell you this:
exactly.
how about the officials last night? One of them were talking to me before the ball game, and he said, the only thing I don't understand, he said, I'm fixing to go work the Newton Shelby game, and this should be a 2nd or 3rd round game.
Yes, it should.
He said,
I agree.
It's a 1st round game, and you've got 2 really good teams. He said, Max Preps, man. And he just smiled and shook his head, and I was like, well. Okay.
Yeah, but there's criteria that's never put in it, and that's what made me mad when you had South Point and Shelby in your polls 1 and 2 all year long,
and they're meeting 2nd round,
and they're going to meet in the 2nd round.
So you have a regional bid being played in the 2nd round. So basically, like everybody said in the state of North Carolina, pretty much 2A state championship is decided this next coming Friday night at Lineberger Stadium in Belmont.
And we don't want to take anything away from anybody else in the West. That might not be true. But before last week, you could have said Maiden and High Brighton, but
you have a 4-time
if I'm
state
High
champion.
Brighton, I'm happy.
It's High Brighton that Newton, Shelby, and South Point
and they all 3 got to play each other.
Yeah.
So, if you're sitting in that bracket right now, you're looking at it. Okay, we got the 4-time state champion, and we've got last year a state champion. So we've got 2 state champions who didn't lose a whole lot, they're going to play each other round 2.
Before we ever get to them.
Philip,
I don't even have to face them.
Philip, Newton Conover, you were in this conference this year, went 9-2, right?
Right.
Second place in the conference.
Right. And potentially should have won the conference. They should have beat me.
They draw at the defending state champions in round 1. Lincoln, 5-6 overall, snuck into the playoffs. They get to play at 3-8 Graham.
I'm telling you.
So basically what they did, Terry, is that whatever Max Prep said, that's what we're going to go with, and we're not going to look at the brackets, rearrange them, or do anything ourselves. There was no thoughts, there was no process. And as usual, whatever your process is, and this is, Terry's been talking about this for years, just let us know.
Yeah. Yeah, that's my whole deal. I want to know your criteria for doing
What's
it.
the criteria?
But you tell me, like, in all the years, this is a conversation me and my father had about the playoff system. I told him, I said, that there's a potential that a Shelby South Point rematch is going to happen second round. He said, not going to happen. He said, years past, when they were actually in charge of the brackets, he said, you can sit there and say they'll deny it to this day. He said, but honestly, money-wise, they didn't want that matchup in second round. People wanted that matchup third round, fourth round, a regional set. He said, you don't want that first or second round. He said, because you get one. He said, it would be like taking the Patriots and playing Patriots-Steelers first round of the playoffs. He said, or taking, two of the best teams in college football, like have Alabama, and let's say last year, Alabama and Clemson play in the college football playoff, as opposed to them playing on opposite sides to meet in the national championship. He said, you set it up to where you make the most. He said, everything about playoffs and the public school system and athletics, you want to set up the system to where you work to the best teams playing at the end. He said, nobody wants to go and watch the two best teams in the state of North Carolina play first or second round, because inevitably one of those teams are going to go home. And, but in the same token, it makes for good football. It gives you something to talk about. I mean, probably the best second round game in the entire state of North Carolina will be played within driving distance of this radio station.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, you're going to see the best game, whether it's 1A to 4A. Shelby South Point next week is probably the best football game in the area.
Yeah, and my whole deal in behind this is when I look at this, I look at High Brighton who won, and they're going to end up playing Patton again, a team they beat 35-0 last week. But they're going to play them again. But that's number 1 against number 2 in that same conference, and you're going to have the same thing, a South Point and a Shelby. That's number 1 and number 2 in that conference. If it's set up right, Patton should be over here with South Point, and Shelby should be on the other side.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yep.
So.
All right, guys. Terry, let's finish up the brackets from last night, and then we got to take a break.
All righty. In the 4A bracket, it was Vance over R.J. Reynolds, 34-6. Next up for Vance will be Winston-Salem Glen. Hickory Ridge, 41-0 win over West Charlotte. Next up for Hickory Ridge, a trip to South Caldwell. East Forsyth 35, Mooresville 6, and it was Porter Ridge 49, Davie County 27. In the 4AA bracket, it was Myers Park 28, East Meck 6, Huff High School 41, Audrey Kell 16, Providence 54, South Mecklenburg 18, and Richmond County loses to North Meck 27-23. And those are your scores from last night.
All right, guys, you're listening and watching the Campers Inn of Kings Mountain Saturday Sports Talk Show, Saturdays 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. You're watching on YouTube, KTCBroadcasting.com, and you're listening, WLON 1050 a.m. and WCSL 1590 a.m. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we got more fuzzy math to do, Terry. College football.
I think State's been eliminated from national championship.
Yeah, they're done now.
Oh.
So is ECU's, and so is App. So, nothing to talk about for us. We'll be back on KTCBroadcasting.com.
Today, more and more people are shopping and getting their information online. Here at KTC Broadcasting, we're making our websites easier for you to find out what you're looking for. At KTCBroadcasting.com, you can listen to all 3 of our radio stations, plus watch live video of high school sports, American Legion Baseball, Christmas parades, and other special events. At WhatsUpShopper.com, you'll find all kinds of deals from our local merchants. Shop our eBay store, plus swap shop items, along with community and church events and our local news. And at LincolnCounty.com, you'll find all the information you need concerning Lincoln County. From local businesses to government to school information, even today's local weather forecast. So click on and enjoy. That's KTCBroadcasting.com, the WhatsUpShopper.com, and LincolnCounty.com. The future is today.
we set the championship 4 at Phoenix Raceway.
The Monster Energy NASCAR Cup Series playoffs.
Hard racing by Denny Hamlin, Chase Elliott, and everybody stacked up behind him.
Race 9 and the final 4 championship contenders will be decided.
Nose to tail for the top 6 positions. Now Chase Elliott making life miserable for Denny Hamlin.
The Can-Am 500.
Chase Elliott into the dogleg. He's cleared Denny Hamlin.
Sunday at 1:30 on the Motor Racing Network.
The Can-Am 500 from Phoenix Raceway in Arizona, Sunday afternoon at 1:30, right here on Carolina Country, 1590 AM WCSL, and online at KTCBroadcasting.com.
This is the voice of the Blue Devils, David Shoemate, inviting you to join us for the 2017 edition of Duke Blue Devils football. We'll bring you all the action all season long, including in-depth analysis and exclusive access to players and coaches before the opening kick and after the final whistle. This is your exclusive source for Duke football.
Duke, North Carolina, and Clemson football, right here on the Boss and Big O Country, your beach oldies and sports stations.
Tee it up and let it fly at the Crowders Mountain Golf Course, voted Gaston County's best course. Ride and play Monday through Friday for just $28. Play and ride after 12 for $25. On weekends and holidays, play and ride for $38 and afternoon for only $28. Seniors 55 and older play and ride Monday through Friday for $25. And Monday is Ladies' Day. Ladies play and ride on Mondays for $18. The Crowders Mountain Golf Course, located on 255 Lincoln Academy Road in Gastonia.
CarQuest Auto Parts is the right place to find batteries for all your lawn and garden, marine, agricultural, and power sport needs. With well over 500,000 products available, you're sure to find exactly what you need at CarQuest Auto Parts. That's Eddie's Auto Parts, 2514 East Main Street in Lincoln.
When you want some help from a fellow car lover, it's all in one place, as you'll discover. Roll in to CarQuest and roll on.
The Orange Opportunity Sales Event is underway at Parker Farm Service in Kings Mountain. Come in now and ask about 0% financing for 84 months on select Kubota tractors with a big 6-year warranty. Come on in for all the details and don't miss it. The Orange Opportunity Sales Event underway now at Parker Farm Service, located at 126 Bessie Drive off the Oak Grove Road and Highway 74 bypass in Kings Mountain. Brown & Howell, Cosmetic and General
Are we back, JP? What's
JP's put us back.
God almighty. We're in here talking about Ric Flair, the 30 for 30. Well, y'all thought we was going to come back and talk about college football, didn't you? And Philip's got a fun, interesting story. If you watched it, he got real sad near the end talking about Reed. But Philip actually wrestled Reed, didn't you?
Yeah, I did, and pinned him, and didn't even fathom the fact that I just wanted to get myself in the medal match. But I grabbed my wrestling bag, ran over, and I said, "Rick, will you sign my bag?" And he said, "Sure, little fella." And he signed my bag, and I said, and then looking back at it now,
how old were you? He called you little fella.
He called me little.
No lie.
What, 7?
Know what I'm saying?
At the Grady Cole Center in Charlotte, North Carolina.
How did you just wrestle when you was a baby?
Oh yeah.
First diaper off wins. Is that how we little right. Fella? Right. So Rick, you actually wrestled Ric Flair's son, didn't you? That's funny. My cousin used to. He's the meat manager over here in Shelby, and the other son. No, not his son. McMahon, Shane McMahon, would come over there and always talk wrestling with him. He's a big Flair fan. Flair was his favorite wrestler, and he'd always come over and talk to him and stuff while they cut his meat. So it's a pretty little neat. You'll run into people like that, or little small connections like that. Terry, you ever wrestled the Undertaker or anybody like that?
No. I've been down there when Ricky Steamboat and them wrestled down there in Charlotte and stuff like that. Now, my mom, she was huge wrestling fans, but I'd always say, "Mom, this is not real," but to her it was real.
Oh, yeah.
When he broke his leg on television, she goes, "Oh, my goodness," and she's grabbing her head, and I'm saying, "Mom, it's fake." And she's like, "No, it's not. Look, he's hurt." I mean, but I love my mom to death, but
Dad said everything stopped on Saturday mornings about 1 o'clock. He said it came on at all.
That's it.
But see, I grew up a Bill Goldberg fan. Mm-hmm. I mean, Goldberg was my guy. WCW, that's when I was coming up. Mm-hmm. And that's back when Ric Flair was just the old dude.
Yeah.
And then watching the 30 for 30 and seeing where he came from, and then that, I was like, wow.
Yeah,
learned a lot in those.
It's so funny that, how old are you? Phil?
I am 28.
You're 28. I'm 35, and I saw 7 years more of Flair, and I feel like I know so much more about him. And,
yeah.
and you're like, I don't even remember him.
Well,
and I remember about everything about him. It seems from 85 on, or 86 on, or 87. I guess when I started really knowing it.
And you know, to me, wrestling really took off when McMahon and all them really took it over.
Yeah.
But I mean, I remember the Rock and Roll Express when they were coming through. And we went and did a ball tournament at, I'm trying to think of where was it. It's close to Wilmington down there, but we did a ball tournament down there, and they were staying in a motel with us, right beside us almost. And I looked at them, and I said, what y'all doing? And they said, well, we're just over here. We're having a wrestling tournament over here at one of the gyms tonight. You know, and them guys never really got all the publicity and the money that the guys are getting nowadays for wrestling, you know.
They actually got inducted to the Hall of Fame. Congratulate them if you want to, Terry. The Rock and Roll. You know, they used to be at Cherryville High School a long time ago. Dad was the MC for this, the best story ever. Terry, I don't know, see if you remember this name. Do you remember the Boogie Woogie Man?
Yes, I do. Yes, I do.
He came into New Jack City. You know that song?
Yeah.
Ooh, cool, cool, cute. Now, I have a tape of me and my sister when we were 3 and 4 singing that song. Because what happened was, at one of the events, there was wrestling up here in Cherryville. Daddy was the MC. You know, we had front row tickets and everything. We were right when they came out. We were sitting there getting high fives and everything. But the Boogie Woogie Man, Dad announces him, grabs Dad, and kisses him right on the mouth in front of everybody.
I mean, there's a lot of people. Blackjack Mulligan. I mean, you know, those were guys when I was coming up back then. You know, I never was into the wrestling part of it, but my mom, buddy, wherever we went, you know, I had to go because mom paying for it. You know, so we went.
She was going up.
Well, since you brought up college football, I think that, you know, a blast from the past, at least today, you know, talking about wrestling, looking in the past a bit, the big matchup today between Notre Dame and Miami, the Catholic convict game. Mm-hmm. I mean, you know, if you think about it, that between the Ric Flair 30 for 30 and the 30 for 30 about the U and the Catholic convict game and the whole, you know, premise around, I think they're building it up for nothing. I think Notre Dame easily cruises today.
And I'm going to say something, too. I think this is all for Miami's season. Yeah. Because, I mean, they're not getting no recognition right now. They keep saying, well, y'all not that good. You're down here. And, you know, and for the Fighting Irish to defeat them, and people try to say, well, the Fighting Irish shouldn't be in there because they're independent. Oh, yeah, they should. Because especially you just defeated North Carolina State.
You can't say that
and
anymore.
Also Miami.
You can't say that anymore based on,
you know,
the fact that Alabama plays Mercer. You can't tell me that Notre Dame shouldn't be in because they're not in a conference, because they play harder schedules than 90% of the people that are in
the only problem I have,
Notre Dame fans. It's just it's silly to sit there. You know, like Mercer. Alabama's playing Mercer.
The only problem I have with the Fighting Irish are doing is get in a conference. Well, you're selecting who you want to play out of the ACC, but you be in that conference for everything else.
But I will tell you this: you know this about any business. You make so much money, you got to have a tax write-off. So why not bring Mercer in, pay him $8 million, get that tax write-off money?
But it's not a business, Philip. If you ask the NCAA, it's amateur athleticism.
You know, but look when Appalachian State went and played Michigan. They were not supposed to beat Michigan, and Michigan, like everybody from Apple tell you, they paid them.
Well, that's fine
tremendously.
But that's no reason to be playing if you're Alabama.
Michigan also come back when they wanted them to come back. Said, "Come back up here. We want to play you tremendous."
Well, they want to play them when they don't have Armani Edwards.
Just got a good text. It says, "Why not just let Max Preps take over the college football ranking?"
That
would be awesome. State might be bound for a title.
Let them rank. Yes, they would. State it'd be Duke and Baylor for the national championship next year, or one of those Pac-12 teams that has no chance, like NC State.
But like you said, but NCAA's not a business. Let Max Preps do it, because if it's not a business, then you can't let some of these top tiers be in there every single year. Because I think a lot to do with it is the programs and the money is what gets some of these teams. Because when that college football play, anytime you have a closed door session to decide who plays in the playoff, and you've got teams that are undefeated on the outside, and you got a 2-loss team on the inside, there's something that goes around that room that I would love to be a fly. If they said, Philip, you and Kevin and Terry, y'all can just go sit in this room, don't say nothing, you can't leave and tell. I'd love to be able to just sit in there and hear how the conversation goes around the table to make the college playoff.
Well, I'm pretty sure how it goes. It goes, can we get 2 SEC teams and Notre Dame in there? Now, how do we do it?
That's right.
That's how it starts. He goes 2 SECs and Notre Dame,
and then ACC's doing everything they can just to keep one team in there. And Clemson's done about everything this year to try to get out. Yeah. I mean, because if you think about it, if Clemson flubs up, at this point, I don't know that NC State gets that nod. I don't know that there's not an ACC team that has a chance except Miami. Miami loses today to Notre Dame. It's it. That's it. There's no ACC chance.
No, I don't think Clemson has but one game left against ACC opponents, if I'm not thinking right. I think they've played about everybody they could play.
Now, they have, Florida State today, right?
I think that's it. I think they got South Carolina left, and I'm not sure who else, but I think they're done with ACC.
Citadel.
So there you go. See, they're done. They play Florida State today. That's their only chance. If they would blow the Florida State game, then State moves back in front of them. In that
but I think, but it's what I'm saying is, I think if Clemson drops any game, that Oklahoma's a shoe-in, and now you have the first team from that conference in the college football playoff. Because Oklahoma, to me, has played in games that are a little bit bigger than Clemson has this year, and I think their schedule is a little bit tougher than Clemson's, and I think they deserve to be in that top 4.
Well, here's your question: say Clemson wins out and they finish out, and Miami wins out and finishes out, and they both meet. Why is Miami not considered one of them teams when we keep talking about Georgia and Alabama?
Well, there you go. I mean, I think it's all going to – this year, the college football playoff, I think, is going to come down to those conference championship games.
It should.
There should be a lot. There should be a lot on that. Because
I think it should be automatic. I think if they're going to say Power 5, what you got to do is – and the only reason they don't is because Notre Dame is not in a conference.
That's it.
Is say – the 5 champions, and then we'll rank them from there.
Because
you have to qualify. Wherever you're ranked in there, you have to win the conference. Yes, Penn State.
Penn State got ripped last year.
How are you not? I'm the conference champion, but the guy that came in 3rd is in the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
College football is the only sport that the conference champions don't make.
We just need that. We need money. We need that cha-ching. Cha-ching.
Don't make the playoffs.
They can pay us, and we'll figure it
out. Y'all know the other sports was the division or conference champion doesn't make the playoffs?
I mean... that last year that blew me away. Penn State sitting there win the championship.
Well, Wisconsin's sitting there right now. They're about to get screwed. I mean, what if they go undefeated in the Big Ten?
Well, that's the first thing they was talking about. They said they might not even make it.
Between Wisconsin going undefeated in the Big Ten and Michigan, Ohio State, and Penn State doing it. It's a name. And North Carolina fans and NC State fans and all these other fans, they should break off into another system.
All right, well,
or move down, or I don't know.
As a money person, even in the playoff ranking, if it wasn't about money, why does ESPN selling the Notre Dame Miami game when you have Oklahoma playing TCU today? That's the number 5 and 6 team in the ranking. That's the most impactful game. I mean, you have the number 3 and the number 7 playing. Pretty much, it looks as if Notre Dame's going to walk through that game. The best competitive game today, probably Oklahoma TCU in the college football playoff ranking. Because Clemson, if play the game like they should, Florida State, with all the injuries and stuff they've had this year, they're probably going to bow out gracefully in that game. But you never know. But honestly, like we said, Alabama's going to walk through Mercer. Georgia, who does Georgia have today on the?
Hold on, it'll take a minute for me to find that. Let's see, Georgia. Oh, the Bulldogs! There they are, Auburn today.
And see
this is their big
that's
matchup
something
before
at Auburn.
Yeah, and Auburn probably like if that's an upset for me. I think Auburn pulls that one out against them.
Well, if they do,
because it'll make it very interesting in the playoff rankings.
Mm-hmm. If they do, it's very interesting. Well, it's just not fair that if your name's Alabama, you can lose 2 games.
Yeah, you drop down there and you look. Miami 7, Wisconsin number 8. They're undefeated and they're getting no recognition.
But see, and the flip side is how do you justify putting Alabama number 2 just because you just want to?
Well, I'm around to
over Georgia.
Here's their out of conference schedule: Florida State, which was bad this year. Fresno State, that's a tough one. Colorado State, that's a toughie. And Mercer. Then they got in conference Vanderbilt, that's always a tough one. Mississippi, they beat them 66-3. Texas A&M's got a good program. Arkansas stinks. Tennessee stinks. LSU's decent. Then they finish with Mississippi State, Mercer, and Auburn.
Yeah, you got one chance, and that's Auburn or in your championship.
Now Notre Dame, their schedule is Temple, Georgia, Boston College, Michigan State,
and Temple was
Miami
ranked
of Ohio,
and they beat Boston College 49-20. Boston College is not a bad team.
North Carolina, USC, NC State, Wake Forest. Then they'll finish with Miami, Navy, and Stanford.
Right.
So their easiest game off the out of conference would be the Navy game, and Alabama plays Mercer. And then you go to, Alabama next plays Fresno State, Colorado State. And then, Miami, Notre Dame plays Temple and Miami of Ohio. So you start, they all got 3 to 4 games. Now, then what I like to do is tell how good teams are, guys, is you go over and you actually look at the standings. Because what the standings in NCAA will tell you is you look at the in-conference standings.
Right.
Because they all schedule 3 to 4 patsies every year. And then you can look at I think, I'm going to bring it up because I want to be accurate.
Yeah.
How many teams in the SEC actually have overall winning records, and then how many they have losing records. So let's go down here to the SEC. Overall winning records. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now, overall winning records in conference. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's 2 teams that aren't as good as what the record says they are. ACC. This will probably be a little bit different because some of these teams are awful. 8 and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 teams in the ACC above 500 overall. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 are above 500 in the conference. Only 5 teams are above 500 in the conference. So how many teams are in the conference? 14?
15. Well, 14 not counting the Fighting Irish.
So 14.
Yeah.
So only 5 of the 14 teams have a winning record in the conference.
Well, and tell me this: how do you justify a win and a loss? How do you justify a loss? Because think about it. Look who Oklahoma lost to, and then look at Clemson, who they lost to. Syracuse is not a good they're just
exactly.
But Oklahoma, on the other hand, they lose to who was it? They got beat by
Ohio State. No, they beat Ohio State.
I'm trying to think if I can remember who they.
I'm pulling it up right here. Who you got? So, the Oklahoma Sooners lost to Iowa State in Iowa. At Oklahoma, and they beat. Who did Ohio State They just beat Penn State or Iowa State? Yeah. Ohio State. They beat Ohio State and Oklahoma.
Exactly. So Iowa State's having a good year.
And are both of them ranked above Iowa State?
And then you go look at, Syracuse that beat Clemson. Clemson's in the football playoff right now. So they lose their one game to Syracuse, and Syracuse, mind you, is not like when you were going over the standings of the ACC. Syracuse is sitting below Wake Forest, just above Louisville. They're 2 and 3 in conference and 4 and 5 overall.
If you go back to when they first come out with their first poll, that is when Clemson had lost to Syracuse. Clemson had fell down to number 7. But when that poll come out, Clemson was back up in that poll.
Right.
When they brought it up. So somebody gave them a lot more of a benefit in that room than what the poll was getting them.
Is it kind of like Max Prep's ranking, where if you win the national championship the year before, you get so
automatic
much ranking,
like a bonus gift?
You get like a bonus point ranking that you can bump back up because you've been there 2 years in a row. You lost one, you won one. So does that add to your credibility? Because in that ranking, they take everything into effect.
Oh,
but mind you, everybody in the room's media, so it's all opinionative based criteria. I don't know that it's
here's
statistic.
how hard it is to rank these teams. So Iowa State has lost to West Virginia and Iowa, both ranked teams. They also lost to Texas, which isn't a ranked team. Now, but Iowa State also beat Oklahoma and Ohio State, who are both ranked ahead of them.
Right. Yeah.
How do you do that? You got a 6-3 team that beat both these teams ahead of them.
But
not only one of them, but
below.
both of them that lost as teams below them. So, but Iowa at 6-3. How do you say they're that much worse than Ohio State at 7-2? Other than the name is Iowa and the name is Ohio State, because Iowa beat Iowa State, who beat Ohio State. There's a lot of I's and O's in there. I can't believe I got all that right there for a second. But that's how hard it is to do these rankings. And you got the most simplest things isn't that.
If you go by Max Preps, it's how many points you score and how bad you beat them and what's the difference.
Is that all?
Well, that's part of the plan.
Oh, it is.
Because they're asking you how many points you scored. I mean,
you can't do that in high school.
Well, I'm telling you.
It's just you got some people letting other teams score. You got your second strings in the second half, and for that stuff like that to affect.
I know they're totally against it, but I still say they need to go like they had the old way when App State won all their national championships. That's what the college football playoff should do. That way you justify getting all your undefeated teams in. All your conferences are going to be represented, and you literally just build a high school playoff bracket and play.
We won't be happy till it's 16 because if they do it at 8, they're still going to keep the little mans like Central Florida and them out. I mean,
That's what
Central
I'm saying. They're gonna
Florida
have to go to a 16
I
playoff
agree.
seed.
I would go with a 16.
And then it's also going to boost your revenue
Well,
for your bowl games. Your bowl games are going to get more money in.
What are you going to do for yourself? Really, college football, instead of taking a lackluster month off before they play again, you would be playing each week.
All right, well, tell me this. When you watch the Dollar General Bowl, who watches the Dollar General Bowl
Yeah, I know.
on TV?
The
Who
only
watches
way-
the Johnson Tax Slayer Bowl. Nobody cares.
I know a
Well,
couple
somebody
people who
does
waste
if
their
you
time. I really
put your
do.
money on it, I guess.
Yeah, if you got money on it, or you're.
But if it was a playoff game, if Alabama plays in the Dollar General Bowl first round game against a 16 seed, which in this case, let's say that right now, Georgia, if we did the college football playoff game, Georgia would face off against Mississippi State. Alabama would play Oklahoma State. I'm watching those games.
Yeah.
Those are high caliber teams. And I'm going to watch it because that's going to be interesting. Then you have Notre Dame who has to play Penn State. That's a good ball
That's
game.
a good game.
And you just take the top 16 and you look right there. I mean, you're talking about and ESPN's going to get their money. ABC's going to get their money. Everybody's going to tune in. Ratings are going to be up. The bowl attendance would be up.
But that none of that matters because hey, they would have to take away the conference game, and instead of playing a 12-game season, they'd probably have to play an 11-game season. So now you're taking away a home game from them because hey, guess what? They all don't play 6-6 home and away. They play like 8 or 9-3 home and away, and because this college, basketball does the same type of stuff. Duke will play 25 games at home and 10 on the road in basketball, and it's so hard. I feel we'll love it. That would be the best, but I guess 8 teams. The next step is 8 with 5 conference champions guaranteed, and then. But the problem is when you go 8, here's what's going to happen. 8 means automatically 2 SEC teams, no matter what.
Maybe 3 or 4.
That's what I'm saying. They will stretch it to 3 if they can, which is going to bump out the Central Floridas, the NC States, the Carolinas. So they still might not even have that chance. To get for North Carolina and NC State to not go undefeated, and they're talking about Wisconsin's going undefeated, and they don't even let them in the playoffs. How can you say they don't deserve to be if you go undefeated in the Big Ten and win the conference championship? This whole deserve to be. Who cares if they don't think if they think they got the number 1 team anyway? Put them at 4. Let them beat them. You don't deserve to be. Let's play. It's just silly. That's why I'm not that big of a fan of college football. Really, it's so because it is like that. It's not right. I went to Appalachian for a lot of years. Went to Appalachian. I watched them, and then they've come back over to the 1A, or come to the 1A, and I was like, well, I'm going to give it a try. I know they'll never get a chance to win it. They could schedule like Notre Dame, have the same schedule as Notre Dame, and wouldn't be ranked in the top 25.
They've at least been bowling. I mean, they were talking about they've been bowling every year since they've been in.
They've made the toilet bowl every year.
And they're undefeated.
Yep. And
Huh?
what
So?
they get their participation awards every year. That's what I'm saying. But they'll never get to play for the national championship again now that they moved up. Will they?
No, and you know as well as I do, if Appalachian would go undefeated playing their schedule, they might make it to number 14.
Yeah,
right.
And I mean that's
well, UCF's got 6 teams ahead of them right now. In the with 2 losses, they're 18th right now. The same thing as where App would be. You're right, Taylor.
And they can finish undefeated, but what are they? Like you said, what are they going to do?
At 16 in a 16.
Right in that 13 through 16. Yeah.
Well, and so there you go. It's time to end the college football. I got a quick note because I just get crazy on this. I know it's break time. Well, no, he's just saying it's break time. It is the quarterback thing. What's going on in North Carolina? There's no. I think the
all I know is that they have a tube running in that helicopter, and he's breathing on something because how Chaz is not better than the Elliott kid. Everybody's gonna say, well, Elliott got his first win and first career start. Okay, good. If you match up intangibles,
and you've had 4 trick
Chaz
plays.
Surratt is better intangible than Elliott. The only thing that Elliott is different than Chaz is a lefty quarterback.
Elliott's lefty too.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
Then there's no difference.
There he is.
You got the National Player of the Year on your roster, and you're starting the 3rd string guy in front of him.
This is how Chaz has been benched this year.
Unless he's been hurt.
That's what I'm saying. Is he hurt? Let us know. Because if it's not, and you're going here 2-10, and you might lose to Western Carolina and lose to all your other rivals, you're going to get fired.
Yep.
Doing what you're doing, and because if he's not hurt, then what's going on? Because you got Brandon Harris. You can look at the stats, and I don't even feel like pulling them up because they're so off. His 1 touchdown, 8 interceptions.
But if you don't play him, do you get, transfers anymore?
Well,
I mean, they have to justify it to try to keep the transfer line open.
Well, not necessarily. They can just say he's terrible. Hey, Chaz is good. Brandon Harris is terrible. He threw 1 pick and 8 interceptions. It's not that hard. Philip, if he's a defensive lineman, get him on the field.
Right.
This is the quarterback position. This is how Chaz got benched for Harris. On Saturday, we find out on Twitter that Harris had a good week of practice, and so he's getting to play. Now, if you think about that, wasn't Chaz getting first-team reps?
That's what. Yeah.
So who did Brandon Harris have a good week of practice against?
Against the dude.
The practice team.
And see, and he's going to start my issue is when they were doing the quarterback competition, if Elliott's so good to get the start, why was he not in the competition in the beginning? In the beginning, I was at the California game, and I watched. Harris goes in, interception, 3 and out. Chaz came in, every possession Chaz was in that game was points.
I'm not saying he's winning the Heisman, but he gives them the best chance to win. He's the best athlete on the field when he's out there. The line is 5 Matadors right now.
Yeah, and look and please.
Are they not, Terry?
Yeah.
It's just, go ahead.
Tell me this. If you look at it, the Carolina Tar Heels are injury stricken right now. They have none of their real
19
ones.
Players out for the
and
season.
So my issue there is Chaz has been there. He's bought in. He stood and studied behind Trubisky.
He flew a helicopter to see Chaz too.
Like think about this. He is your guy. He's your guy that's in the locker room. That's got the friendship. Brandon Harris had to come in and develop relationships. Chaz has been in the offseason, already got the mesh, already got the time, and everything weighs on his side. But you opt out of Brandon because it's very evident he was never a good passer at LSU.
So this week,
but then now Elliott's comes in and beats a very lackluster Pittsburgh team, and now you're thinking,
why was he even in there, Philip?
Exactly,
because the game before Chaz got blown up on a play because the Matadors let a 400-pound dude run through and hit him in the face. Now Chaz is out for 2 plays. He come back. If your starting quarterback is out for 2 plays and comes back over the coach, what happens?
He gets put back in. Yeah, definitely.
And the Fedora puts the 3rd string in.
I mean,
he completes like 3 passes, 3 little slants, and all of a sudden, I feel good about it.
We're going to stay here with exactly. And my thing is, how do you justify starting him this way?
I've never seen anything like it. It's so awful. I'm laughing at it.
And they can say Chaz is hurt, but last week against at Lincoln, he was on the sideline and he looked healthy as everything beside his brother Sage. So I'm not sure he's hurt. I think that the young man, he's getting a heavy dose of humble power, adversity, or something's happened because I'm telling you.
There's some politics with Fedora.
Yeah, because Elliott right now
he's getting told by a booster or something. I don't know.
Well, we all know that Fedora is going to be the guy that's going to be gone. I mean, he can make all these trips to Shelby and every these other things. But if he cannot win there and he cannot beat a Duke and he cannot beat a North Carolina State, then he's not going to have a job. Carolina's just not going to let that happen.
If they lose Saturday, Terry, does he make it to the end of the season? I mean,
if
what
they
if he loses against Western?
Oh, no. If he loses to Western, everybody's going to want him.
They're almost ranked. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
This ain't a bad Western team.
Yeah, Western's having probably the best, one of the stories years they've had. But
all right, we got to take another break. Any other comments on college football going forward? Who you got national championship right now? If we going forward real quick and we'll get off here.
I would say honestly, Alabama, Oklahoma. I think Oklahoma's going to get in your picture. I don't know that there's a team in the nation that can beat
JP,
Alabama
give me
right
another
now.
minute or two, and then we'll take a double break here.
I think Alabama, Oklahoma, because Oklahoma's going to find its way in. I think Oklahoma could beat a Notre Dame. They could, Clemson's done. I feel like Clemson's going to bleed out, or Georgia. One of those 2 teams are not going to be in this mix here in 2 weeks.
Well, I'm going to be honest. My opinion and smoke, God, will make you happy. I got Alabama painting the Fighting Irish.
I've got Miami and Wisconsin. All right, let's do today's schedule. I'm picking the undefeated teams. Y'all are picking teams that have lost. No, you got Alabama, I guess. Nobody said Georgia. Sorry, Derek. Number 9, Washington at Stanford. No, Stanford, that was last night. Stanford upsets Washington.
Yep.
Guys, there you go. So bye-bye Pac-12 for 14 or 10, whatever they are now. All right, just say the names. We're going to run down these real quick. We're way up against the break. Michigan State, Ohio State.
Michigan State.
I got Michigan State, too.
Rutgers at number 14, Penn State.
Penn State.
Yeah.
Number 15 at Oklahoma State at Upset City, Iowa State. Number 21.
Going with the mullet, Oklahoma State.
I'm picking the Cyclones as well, Terry.
I got the same.
Connecticut at UCF, number 18.
UCF.
Terry's Wolfpack, number 23 at Boston College.
Boston College.
I'm going to go NC State. I'm going to go with them.
I hope.
Pig Suey, Razorbacks in Baton Rouge for number 24 LSU.
LSU.
Duke and Army.
Duke.
Ooh. Oh, yeah, I'm going to go Duke. That's going to be tough on what people think.
Non-ranked games here for fun. Florida, South Carolina.
South Carolina.
Number 17, Virginia Tech at the Ramblin' Wreck of Georgia Tech.
I got Georgia Tech winning.
All right, for UNC Charlotte fans, they host Middle Tennessee today.
Middle Tennessee.
Number 1, Georgia at number 10,
Auburn.
War Eagle.
Auburn.
Y'all are both picking upset. Dogs. I'm calling the Dogs. That's who that's who my real pick for the championship. I hope they did. I got into Georgia, decided to go to Appalachian. We won 3 national championships. They still ain't won one since, so I'm going to go with that one for right now. Clemson, number 4, hosts Florida State.
Florida State beats Clemson down
there.
It's
going to be the ruined college football this week.
Yes.
That's what we'll talk about.
I'm gonna go with Florida State.
Seminole, both of you with the upset. Seminoles over Dabo. Iowa, number 20 at Wisconsin, number 8.
I think Iowa's got a chance in that game.
I was going to say Iowa's pretty good, but I'm going to take Wisconsin playing at home.
According to Max Preps, the best team in the ACC, Louisville, hosts Virginia.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Well, I'm going to still take Louisville. I think this is something Lamar can.
Playing at home.
Yeah.
All right. Let's see. Going down the line. Going down. Number 11, USC at Colorado.
USC.
Yeah.
Number 19, Washington State at Utah.
That's a tough place to play.
Yeah, I'm going to go with the Utes. Give the Utes some love.
Number 2, Alabama at Mississippi State, number 16.
Alabama beats them by 20.
Philip agrees. Philip,
there's
number
no
25, Northwestern.
That's your national champions.
Who, Mississippi State?
Alabama. Nick Saban gets another ring.
Purdue at Northwestern.
Got to take Northwestern.
Same.
Number 3, Notre Dame at the Convicts in Miami. Number 7.
Yeah, got to go with Notre Dame. They're too good offensively.
I'm picking the U. Is back. The 7th floor. Greg Olson and the gang is back.
I hope, man.
TCU.
Coach Rice doing a darn good job down there, man, since he took over.
Well, you knew he would.
Yeah.
He's a good coach. He really is. You know, the recruiting at Georgia might not be. If you really think about it, you know, he did a decent job at Georgia. They was always in contention. Miami's a different recruiting base. They can get some really, really good athletes down there, and if he can be as solid as he was at Georgia, plus those athletes, Miami might be scary here in the next few years. Number 6, TCU at number 5, Oklahoma.
I'm going to take the biggest mistake that East Carolina ever did. Lincoln Riley, Ruffin McNeil will get the win with the Sooners today.
All righty, that's our roundup of the top 25 games of the week. Today we've got Clemson on the radio. JP, you're on the phone. Let's get ready for a break right now. All right, on WLON 1050 AM, WCSL 1590 AM. We'll be back in just a few minutes. We've got to talk about a little NBA action. It's NFL football time to talk about. Zeke is finally suspended. Is Dak just gonna fall apart? Is the Cowboys are over, guys? Y'all's season's over. Y'all gonna be joining the Browns in the lottery. All right, we'll be back in just a few minutes on KTCBroadcasting.com.
Defenders of our freedom. Today, we salute America's military heroes.
Veterans Day, as we do every year, we take that moment to embrace the gentle heroes of all our wars.
Happy Veterans Day.
Happy Veterans Day from the boss, Carolina Country, KTC Broadcasting, and the WhatsApp Shopper.
Justin Allgaier from the outside on the break.
The NASCAR Xfinity Series playoff.
Into turn 1, Justin Allgaier starts to pull away.
Race 6, and the final 4 championship contenders will be decided.
Laney's in the second spot, but time is running out.
The Ticket Galaxy 200 from Phoenix.
Today he finds an oasis in the desert.
Saturday afternoon at 3 on the Motor Racing Network.
The Ticket Galaxy 200 from Phoenix Raceway in Arizona. Saturday afternoon at 3 o'clock on Big O Country. 1590 AM WCSL and online at KTCBroadcasting.com.
Is the cost of ink driving your profits down? Then listen up. Discount Ink Jet and Toner is here to help. Discount Ink Jet and Toner specializes in refilling ink jet and toner cartridges. Cut your ink costs by as much as 50% or more. Discount Ink Jet and Toner, located on 410 East Franklin Boulevard in Gastonia. 100% satisfaction guaranteed.
Hey, you don't have to be a member of the Cherryville Golf and Country Club to come out and eat. Everyone is welcome. Try their famous Sunday buffet from 11 a.m. till 2 p.m. And they're open for dinner each and every Thursday, Friday, and Saturday night from 5 p.m. until. And ask about their chicken on the run on Sundays. Get a whole chicken and 2 sides for only $14.50. Place your order by calling 704-435-6597 for your chicken on the run. Voted the best chicken in Cherryville at the Cherryville Golf and Country Club off Roy Acre Road in Cherryville.
The Orange Opportunity Sales Event is underway at Parker Farm Service in Kings Mountain. Come in now and ask about 0% financing for 84 months on select Kubota tractors with a big 6-year warranty. Come on in for all the details and don't miss it. The Orange Opportunity Sales Event underway now at Parker Farm Service, located at 126 Bessie Drive off the Oak Grove Road and Highway 74 bypass in Kings Mountain. For excellence in funeral and cremation services, talk with Carpenter Porter Funeral and Cremation Services in Cherryville, promoting the highest ethical and professional standards while maintaining cost-effective service. Call 704-435-6711 or come and talk with funeral directors John Porter and Hannah Garrett, offering you guidance during one of life's most difficult times. Carpenter Porter Funeral and Cremation Service, 1100 East Main Street in Cherryville, a member of the National and North Carolina Funeral Directors Associations.
And welcome back. We got a check. Y'all hear me? Am I on the phone? Am I on?
Yeah,
Are
I
you
can hear
talking?
you.
JP's hitting so many buttons in there, and we've got somebody on the phone. I want to apologize first of all. Coach Pruitt, he didn't tell me you was on the phone. And I want to thank you so much for waiting and being patient last night. And I guess, today, and I guess all the waiting you guys did last night on the after the fire and the lights went out, you've been done a lot of waiting the past day. I want to thank you for that, and thanks for calling.
Oh, you're welcome. Yeah, Transformer and the Hall of Fame up there. I've been by Swain, never played there before, so seeing their facility and the situation they have, and the program things they do is a really amazing experience. So it was good for our kids to see a program like that. Hopefully our kids will take that to heart, and we get in this off season and think about what we can do to make our program better as well.
Well, Coach, last night, after I guess you guys had an hour break, you had a touchdown call back there early. You guys fall 42-14 here up at Swain County. Did the break, I'm sure it wasn't good for anybody. How did you guys handle the situation as far as that went?
It is what it is. In 25 years, I've had that happen twice. It happened at Watauga High School, the first game we ever played at the new stadium for homecoming. And the thing about that was we couldn't get the power back on, but we fortunately had Appalachia State right across the town, so we went across town and played. Charlie Cobb's wife said, Charlie said it's available, and we incognitoed the teams out of the stadium, then everybody else found out, and we had a longer break than that to try to get everybody across town so we could play a game. But the game had never started, and that made for a difference. But last night, I thought our kids handled it well. We went inside. The power stayed on in the locker room, and we put the very first play that we came back out with. I wish we would have run it the first series of the game, but we executed it. However, we had a man downfield, and it wasn't a touchdown. It was a long play. We would have been first and 10 or probably around the 25-yard line, but we were backed up to the 18 or 20, so it was a good play. And of course, we run that play later in the game and scored a touchdown with it toward the end of the game. But that one play I think took a little air out of us. But the main thing about that game last night was when you go into playoffs, you don't know your opponent quite as well, and you don't know a lot of things about them. And then last night Thursday night I read that their best receiver was coming back, and the games that they had played against Murphy and Robbinsville and people like that, they kept it close to the vest. They really ran the football, and watching film, you're like, why is Murphy in a 4-3 cover 4 when they're running it right down the throat? And you realize, well, they were doing that because they didn't want to give up the passing game. So last night, of course, We weren't in the Saints game we used against Bessemer City. We changed it up a little bit. But their ability to throw the football down the field last night really hurt us. And you got to give their guys credit, but their quarterback is a very good player. And, of course, with 84 back and number 3 playing more offense. And they got some weapons. They have a stable of backs. They use a bunch of different kids. And just a really good football team. Coach Blankenship and his guys do a great job. And, next week's game between them and Bessemer City, there'll be a lot of parallels between last year when we went down to Whiteville. I think we had the same exact score. And a lot of people thought, Bessemer City going to go down there and they won't be able to play with those guys. But they ended up, one play away from a guy mysteriously not stepping out of bounds from winning that game. Yeah. So I know Coach Boone will have his guys ready, and they'll be excited hosting a playoff game. And that's going to be a good playoff game for people to go see if they don't want to go fight the crowd at the South Point Chevy game next week. Yes,
that'll be our Gaston County game of the week. We'll have that on the radio. And like Coach Brooks said, it should be a pretty good game. Coach, let's talk a little bit about your seniors and everything as you wrap up the year. You talk a little bit about their careers and everything they've been through through this season and everything else.
Well, really proud of our entire team because of the fact that we had a lot of injuries through our season, and as we kept playing, we went through a little lull there in the middle of the year with a losing streak, and coming back and having a couple wins and playing the way we did against Bessemer City last week really, I think, propelled us a little bit into the off season. So proud of our entire team. That starts with these seniors. And our seniors, as you said, they have been through a lot. They went through a little coaching change, went through some adversity. Our 5 captains last night, those kids have probably put more into Cherryville football in the last few years than anybody in our program. So awful proud of Jacob Harden, Brenton Law, and Jesse Guaville, Garrett Burleson, and Ben DeVinny. And our other senior who played the year before, who really put a lot in through the season, and he had his ups and downs, but he continued to play, and he would show signs of brilliance. And then other times you would say, "Come on, you've got to get more out of you," and that's Abraham Meltwally. So, those guys really had a year that a lot of people with some things happening in our program and not having who we thought we might have, and people getting hurt, taking 4 wins from a season like that. There's a lot of positives there. So we've got to build on those and get ready for an off season where we can get faster, stronger, and be able to compete longer and stay in games like we were in last night with Swain County. Because going into the game, I thought we had some opportunities to take advantage of some things, and we just didn't do enough early. Probably should have thrown the whole freaking kitchen sink at them. But the other part of that too is if you go out there and you start running this trick play or that onside kick or that, your kids may say, Coach, not think we can beat these guys straight up. And it's a mental thing. I think y'all were talking about some college football things earlier. I think you also have to look at the mentality of the player and how that affects them as you go through not only a season but a game. And, talking about that game the other night, what could have helped us and what helped them last night, running the football, set up the pass. And if I was watching that Carolina game the other night, the ability for them to run the football helped that quarterback succeed. So to me, there's a lot of intangibles as you go through a season and a game. And just proud of our team and how they dealt with the things that we had to deal with and kept always going forward.
All right, Coach. Well, thank you so much for giving us calls throughout the season, and give us calls, throughout the off season. Give us updates on what's going on there at Cherryville football and other sports there at the high school as you guys ramp up for basketball here the next few weeks. I guess it starts up very soon. I think we got a couple scrimmages this week, and it's not long. And of course, wrestling's got a scrimmage. I think wrestling's got a home thing next Saturday. I believe I'm working the gate, so that's not what I want to be doing my first weekend off. But hey, it's part of the task of being at a small school, and look forward to seeing our guys to compete. That's the thing I talked to them last night. Go out there and wrestle. Go out there and play basketball. Go out there and run track, play baseball, golf, whatever sport it is. But go out there and compete a little bit. You don't want to just see me all the time in off season. Go out there and do some things for those programs that are representing our Ironmen. So look forward to our guys doing that out on the fields. All right, Coach. Well, you have a good Saturday, and thank you as always for giving us a call.
Hey, appreciate you. Thanks for all y'all do, and enjoy the rest of the season. I think we've got some teams in our area that's going to make some deep runs. So look forward to that.
Now, if you want to join us on any pregame, postgame, or Saturday shows here during the playoffs and help us break down stuff, I know you on your days off, you don't want to get into any of that. But if you want to join us, you're more than welcome.
Monday's going to be a long day. I'll have to find me a reason to get to a practice. But like last night, we had a kid break a chin strap, and those people at Swain were so kind, gave us a chin strap. And instead of taking it off last night, I got to get it over to Bessemer City to get it back to them. So I may make a little trek over there and at least drop it off and say, hey, I don't want a little bit of practice. But, I'm not going to get in a huddle because, it's fun, but you miss it. I'm telling you, Mondays after the season, you're like, what do I do with my time? And everybody's there. Don't take many seasons to realize that most seasons end with a loss. But hopefully as we go along here, hopefully those things will get better and better and play longer and longer. But thanks for all you guys do.
Well, Coach, I think there's 2 little people back at home that are ready to have Daddy back home to play with.
Hey, you know it. But, hey, I'll take them with me just like last night. My middle daughter wanted to make the trip, and that's the first time I've heard her say that because we're on the charter bus. My son, he made a comment, Daddy, if we beat Swain County, can we take a charter to Bessemer City? I said, no, sir, we cannot take a charter to Bessemer City. They make life great. And it will be fun. We got a birthday party tomorrow, so we're going to get to spend a lot of time together getting ready for Emma's 4-year-old birthday. It's hard to believe.
Well, tell her happy birthday for us.
I will, Phil. Thanks a lot. Y'all take care.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Coach. May force be with you.
I hear you.
All right, Coach Pruitt. JP, you ready for a break, bud? Here we go. You get settled in there. Coach Pruitt and the gang, they follow this week Swain County 42-14. After an hour of waiting, as he's talking about it, Milton Becker walks in. He's looking a little tired after his night last night, too, as well. But, all right, we're going to take a quick break. We'll come back. We got Terry Celtics, Charlotte Hornets basketball. We've got NFL. We got Phillips Cowboys.
We got LeBron's receding hairline coming back to you.
LeBron's receding everything, and we'll be back just a few minutes. KTCBroadcasting.com.
The grand opening celebration continues at Renato Honda in Shelby. Come visit the brand new showroom and check out the great deals at Renato Honda. Right now, get 0.9% APR financing on all 2017 model Honda Pilots, Honda Accords, and Honda Civics. That's right, 0.9% APR financing. And in the service department, get ready for Old Man Winter with a free battery and charging system test. And get an oil change, tire rotation, and balancing for only $74.95 at Renato Honda. At Renato Auto Mall, 4423 East Dixon Boulevard, Shelby.
Cakes and cookies, toys and gifts. Christmas at your fingertips.
It's the shopping event of the season, the Southern Christmas Show, November 9th through 19th at the Park Expo and Conference Center. Join us to celebrate the show's silver and gold 50th anniversary and shop hundreds of booths to find one-of-a-kind gifts for everyone on your list. Buy tickets online and save at SouthernChristmasShow.com.
Let's go to the Southern Christmas Show.
Today, more and more people are shopping and getting their information online. Here at KTC Broadcasting, we're making our websites easier for you to find out what you're looking for. At KTCBroadcasting.com, you can listen to all 3 of our radio stations, plus watch live video of high school sports, American Legion Baseball, Christmas parades, and other special events. At WhatsAppShopper.com, you'll find all kinds of deals from our local merchants. Shop our eBay store, plus swap shop items, along with community and church events and our local news. And at LincolnCounty.com, you'll find all the information you need concerning Lincoln County. From local businesses to government to school information, even today's local weather forecast. So click on and enjoy. That's KTCBroadcasting.com, thewhatsuppshopper.com, and LincolnCounty.com. The future is today.
Summertime fun starts in your own backyard with a call to Gage Pool and Spa in Gastonia. And right now, you can get low financing with approved credit on your new pool. Offer good on both above ground and in-ground pools. Low financing with approved credit. See Gage Pool and Spa for all the details. That's Gage Pool and Spa, 3025 Union Road, Gastonia, in the Food Line Plaza at Robinwood Crossing. Open 7 days a week.
Braden Cox of Crest High School is this month's McDonald's WOHS What's Up Shopper Scholar Athlete of the Month. Braden is the son of Cindy and Bruce Cox. He plays defensive back on the Crest soccer team, also the captain of the school's tennis team. Braden has a 4.82 grade point average with advanced classes including pre-AP calculus, free AP Chemistry, H in Civics and Economics, H in English, and AP Government. His extracurricular activities include participating in the tennis tournaments, shadowing an orthopedic surgeon, participating in Junior Civitan, Beta Club, and the National Honor Society. Braden is a member of the Central United Methodist Church. He is a tennis instructor at the Shelby City Park and a volunteer athletic training assistant for the American Legion Baseball World Series. After graduation, Braden plans to attend either NC State or UNC Chapel Hill for pre-med, then pursue a career as a physician. The McDonald's KTC Broadcasting What's Up Shopper Scholar Athlete of the Month is to recognize a student athlete not only for accomplishments in athletics, but also overall achievements in the classroom and for overall school and community citizenship.
We set the championship 4 at Phoenix Raceway.
The Monster Energy NASCAR Cup Series playoffs.
Hard racing by Denny Hamlin, Chase Elliott, and everybody stacked up behind him.
Race 9 and the Final 4 championship contenders will be decided.
Nose to tail for the top 6 positions. Now Chase Elliott making life miserable for Denny Hamlin.
The Can-Am 500.
Chase Elliott into the dogleg. He's cleared Denny Hamlin.
Sunday at 1:30 on the Motor Racing Network.
The Can-Am 500 from Phoenix Raceway in Arizona, Sunday afternoon at 1:30. Right here on Carolina Country, 1590 AM WCSL, and online at KTCBroadcasting.com.
All right, it's Terry Reinhardt here with the Campers Inn Saturday morning sports talk. Thanks to Mitchem's Kitchens for providing our breakfast this morning. But Philip, I want to touch one more thing on high school football. Out of the 96 games that were played last night in our first round, 19 teams that were a lower seed won last night. But now in this 9 versus 8 matchup, 7 of those teams won. So there's 16 games in them brackets, 7 number 9 teams beat number 8. So, you know, when you look at that and you say 19 games, so I guess you got about 18% of lower seeds that beat higher seed teams last night.
All right, let's do our power poll real quick. Forgot to update this last night. Let's see, 18, 21, 25, 27, 29, 35, 42, and 44. Playoff wins gets you an extra victory point on that. All right, now, power poll. We've been talking about rankings and all kinds of stuff. We actually explain how ours works, Philip, you know, and this is how it works. Because they wanted me to weigh it instead of just defense, because they couldn't tell you. They would lose their effing mind when Bessemer City was ranked ahead of Crest right now. But we had to do some ways and wins, in it, but things change. So how this works is that you get victory points. Beat a 1A school, you get 1 point. Beat a 2A school, you get 2 points. 3A, 3, 4A, 5, and so on. Regular season victories, you get bonus points. 1 bonus point for every victory. So technically you get 2 points for 1A, 3, whatever. In the playoffs, I give you an extra bonus points. You get 2 bonus points for playoff victories instead of 1. So for a 1A playoff victory, you get 3 points. 2A playoff victory, 4 points, and so on. Losses. I told you we was going to do some fuzzy math here. Losses. Terry, this was on him. 5A loss, you get 1 point.
You get a point. If you're playing a 5A
lose to a
team.
5A school, you get 1 point.
I mean, to me, that's a big step. You're stepping. I mean, that's Shelby. Shelby should get a point because they're going to play somebody like that.
Right.
0 points for a 4A loss. 1 point for a 3A loss. These are negatives, by the way. Not these are negative 1 point for a 3A, negative 2 for a 2A, and negative 3 for a 1A loss. So we add them up. Tiebreakers is record. Next tiebreaker is defensive points, and what that formula comes out to is our top 10 ends up being number 10, Lincoln, with 10 power points, tied with number 9, Mountain Island Charter, with 10 power points. Mountain Island Charter gets the tiebreaker with an 8-3, and record is Lincoln is 6-6. Thomas Jefferson is number 8 with 18 power points. Bessemer City, 21 power points. Stuart Kramer, number 6, with 25 power points. The Crest Chargers start the top 5 with 27 power points. Hunter Huss at number 4 with 29 power points. Shelby with 35 power points at number 3. South Point at number 2, not number 1, even though they're 11-0, and they have 42 power points because Kings Mountain has 44 power points on the season, because when you look at their schedule, it's all 4s and 3As. And, you know, then they've took care of business except for the 1 loss, the Shelby Golden Lions. So Kings Mountain has piled up the PowerPoints. All right. Real quick for our next break, Terry, I'm going to throw you guys a little, we're going to go to NBA for a few minutes before our next break. It's coming up really fast, so we're going to do this quickly. News notes around the NBA. Terry, Celtics lose the first 2 games of the season. Gordon Hayward's leg falls off, and you win 11 straight games.
And we also been playing. Well, I mean, a lot of people sat back and they wonder because Al Horford has been out the last few games, and then last night Kyrie Irving, he was out for 46 minutes. They took him out of there. He got popped in the face in the first half.
Sustained a concussion.
Yeah, but he was out. But Boston picked it up. I mean, that's how good their bench is. Their bench, when you send in Tatum and them guys know how to play, and they're young. They believe in each other right now. So.
Well, and I think, too, another thing big from last night, sorry, I was looking at the highlights of last night. Paul George actually validates his money for the Thunder as he put up 42 last night and the Thunder win. So he finally had his big night. It wasn't the Russell Westbrook highlight show. Paul George actually showed up.
But they had lost 4 straight, so they broke a 4-game losing streak.
Westbrook's averaging 7 less shot attempts a game this year, and that was a formula last year, and to me, I felt that, it was up to Carmelo and George to figure out how to play with Russell.
Was that Hoodie Carmelo or not Hoodie?
I don't know. But Carmelo, to me, what Carmelo is, he's the walking loser is what he is. As soon as he gets on the team, they just Denver gets rid of him, and they start playing better. He goes to New York, they can get worse than he already was.
Look where New York's at now.
I know, they get rid of him.
In
the
6th.
Knicks are in 6th.
Yeah, look at where the Thunder is.
Because Porzingis
they're down at the bottom.
Right.
And the Thunder now are in 10th.
Yeah.
No, 11th. They're in 11th. Tied for 9th. I guess 9th through 11th, but they're technically
sometimes the aspect of picking up players can kill you. And I'm telling you, Carmelo Anthony, I have nothing wrong with the young man and how he plays, but he plays no defense. He plays no defense whatsoever.
Nothing wrong with the way he plays. He don't play defense. We all know it, and I don't know what they're expecting. And the reporter that they made fun of, he was right when he asked the question, Melo, are you going to come off the bench?
Yeah.
Because that's exactly what he should be doing, is coming off the bench, because they got too many scorers in the first team. You got too many,
Is that the correct answer to say? Dwayne Wade says, put me on the bench, and now he's complaining about them not winning.
Well, no, that's a little bit different as far as, D. Wade, I think, he's not as effective as Carmelo still is. But Melo, with you got to think about it. He's a volume shooter. Paul George is a volume shooter. And so is Westbrook. And Westbrook's used to not passing it at all, except dump offs after he if the double team comes over and they're going to block his shot, and kick outs. So he needs somebody to kick out to, or not just don't go down there on offense half the time. And Carmelo and them, that's why he wants to play. And that's why I'm saying either him or George might have to come off the bench just because of the number of shots. They don't have anything on the bench, do they? They got no bench.
No, they have no bench.
So
they have nothing there.
And we're not saying he's not going to – I'm not saying he shouldn't be on the floor in crunch time. The way the NBA guys it works out, guys, the coaches don't coach until somebody's tired and is like, hey, you come out. They know exactly what minute of every quarter for the first 3, almost halfway through the fourth quarter that they're playing. Unless foul trouble or injuries happen. I know I'm playing from the last half of the second quarter and the first half of the second. They know when they're playing. So and they can kind of change it up. Let's see. Ginobili did this for years. He should have been. He was on the floor at crunch time. He made his own the best player on the floor a lot of times at crunch time, but he didn't start because of the way the time. Him and Parker, running the ball. They're pretty much the same player handling the ball.
But them guys understood their roles, and there's a difference. Carmelo, I don't think has ever understood.
You might have to come off the bench.
Yeah, his role. But now, when I compared them to, if it's up to me, I would rather have a Dwayne Wade than a Carmelo Anthony any day.
Well, Wade's more willing to do whatever you ask him to. You're totally right about that.
And he's a proven winner.
Yes.
So, Houston and Golden State are tied for first in the West. Minnesota, they've added a lot of talent. Name-wise might surprise you. Now, who surprised you probably is Memphis still fighting there for. No matter what they do, that's a testament of how good Marc Gasol probably is. He's always in top 6. They're never 7th or 8th. They're always 4, 5, or 6. And Gasol, maybe if he ever got some help out there, they could have done something. But you ain't going to get too many NBA players that, hey, I'm gonna go sign with Memphis.
That's right.
We're going to
And I
Memphis.
think Minnesota's done a great job since Butler's come over to them. I think he's really helped that squad as a mature individual that understands how to win and helping the younger guys.
Wiggins, just looking at his body, he so much reminds me of 21-year-old Michael Jordan. The way he walks, Terry, and his body build. Everybody's like, when's Wiggins going to break out? He was like 21, 22. That's when Jordan came into the league. Wiggins has been there 3 years, and they're doing this comparison. And this is what I'm not, for the people that actually saw Michael Jordan play, and they're going to start showing these stats here in the next few years. LeBron played this many games. Jordan played this many games. LeBron's got more rebounds, more assists, blah, blah, blah. Well, when did Jordan play his games? He didn't start till he was 22. Then he took 2 years off in his 30s. 2 more years off, came back. He plays last year when he was 39. One of the comparisons on night, Philip, was in LeBron's 1,000th game, he had 30, 10, and 10. In Jordan's 1,000th game, he had 25 and 5. Well, Jordan was 40.
That's right.
LeBron's 30, 3? It's a big difference when those are. So, and the argument was, Jordan, if they want to make that argument, well, then Karl Malone's the greatest power forward ever. And would anybody take Karl Malone in the top 5 if we're going out to the ballpark?
No.
Taking him, Terry. And then
nobody would have.
And then another thing I like to talk about, you're going to draw up a play, LeBron and Jordan. If they're on the same team, who's taking the last shot?
Michael Jordan.
Yeah.
So what is LeBron people going to say? Well, he's the best player, so what we're going to do, we're going to draw up a play for the guy that you say is the best player, but I say he's not.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
Because the best play is LeBron driving. It's his body. He's the Shaquille O'Neal of small forwards. He's bigger, stronger, faster than everybody going against. Nobody will ever say Shaq was the most skilled, best center. Most people say Akeem Olajuwon or Kareem probably were. Right? Or maybe even Wilt.
Shaq was the most intimidating.
But Shaq was the hardest to guard, the most intimidating because of his body size and body.
Yeah.
And Duncan took advantage of the same thing at power forward. Because David Robinson, he could play center those first 5-7 years. Duncan took the same advantage. If I'm at power forward, I'm bigger, stronger, faster than whoever else is playing power forward. And that's what people that saw Jordan and saw him play want to tell the LeBron people, look, y'all drop a play at the end of the game, if they're on the same team, Michael's still getting the shot. Because LeBron's going to drive around. Because LeBron, you think about it, Terry, the Pippen. I've always said he's Pippen on steroids. What does LeBron like to do? Drive and kick, use his body, or he'll back down on a side and find somebody else.
Yeah.
Well, what did Pippen not? He would come down the court, back down at the 3-point line, the elbow area. Michael would run us off a screen of somebody because they would double team him. They would find him, and then Michael would find that extra room or two to get his shots off. That's exactly what LeBron does. He's just bigger, stronger, and faster than he's Scottie Pippen on HGH steroids, however you want to say it nowadays for people that saw Michael play. And that's how we like to compare it, or I would. It's just I've seen it, And Terry will say, David Thompson, best dunker or jumper that Terry's may have ever seen. Some people say Dominique may be the best dunker, and anyone that's seen Vince Carter or that's seen him and haven't seen those guys will say he's the best. So
and it all depends on your eras. That's like me when I sit back.
I like to listen to people who've seen all of them before I will someone who's only seen.
And when I go back and people talk to me and I'll say David Thompson's the best college basketball player I ever seen, and they say, well, what about Michael? Well, Michael never really got to be able to be himself until he got in the NBA.
There's this guy called Dean Smith that kind of limited Michael.
It's that offense.
That's right.
Think about it. You've got Michael Jordan on the floor, and that offense is designed for the forwards to score. It's not designed for the guards to score. So Jordan still led the team in scoring in an offense designed for the Perkins and James Worthy to get every basket.
The best joke I've ever had is, who is the only defender in college basketball to keep Michael Jordan under 30 points? And that's Dean Smith.
Yeah.
I mean, that's it. He's the only guy that ever stopped Michael Jordan offensively.
Yep. All right. Over in the East real quick, Terry, I got off a little tangent on that. This LeBron stuff just cracks me up sometimes. The math that we do in the world today, the 3 and 5 are better than 6 and 0 and all that. All right, Terry, your Celtics 11-2, Detroit's 9-3, Orlando is 8-4. Where'd they come from?
Both of those teams, Detroit and Orlando, up there, and then the Knicks. You got 3 teams up there that we haven't seen, and Philadelphia.
And most people would say Washington. The thing the Knicks have, guys, is they got a player on their team that is a mismatch every single night, no matter who they're playing against. And when you have that, you have a chance to win, and if the team believes in it and can get together. I mean, their defense is bad, 106 a game right now. They're only scoring 105, so they're negative. But you look at the top 5 teams.
Look at Boston's the points going against them.
94.
94.
The only team, there's a couple other teams in the West that are giving up less than 100. But they do got the best defense in the NBA, Terry. And y'all don't even have a shot blocker.
Even Al Horford, the guy that we even got playing in the middle, is not our shot blocker, but he's not even playing.
Have no shot blocker, and you got the best overall scoring defense in the league.
Baines is pretty good.
He is a monster. He's a giant. All right, JP, time for another break. Get off your Star Wars message board on in there.
Yeah, we're going to come back, and we're going to get to talk about the NFL. And the best thing going in NFL is probably the General Hospital all-injury team. We're not going to have a Pro Bowl team. We're going to have the all-injury team. We're going to talk about the newest member of the injury team coming from Seattle.
Real quick, before we go to break, give me the 2 names, your Super Bowl picks in the Super Bowl right now. Go Terry and Phillips. Somebody, whoever you say.
Mine's New England and Dallas.
I'd say New England and Eagles.
I got Steelers and Saints. We'll be back in just a few minutes. KTCBroadcasting.com.
They're all around us. Today, be sure to thank all the veterans who served America.
Thanks a lot.
Happy Veterans Day from the boss, Carolina Country, KTC Broadcasting, and the What's Up Shopper.
4th and goal from the 1. This is it. It's make or break. The game is on the line. Who's tougher? Who wants it more? These are the moments that can define a season. The play is called, and the huddle breaks. The roar of the crowd builds with anticipation. And then
nobody is going to stop him. Touchdown, Carolina.
Hear all the defining moments right here on the Tar Heels Sports Network.
Play golf at the Friendly Golf Club, the Deerbrook Golf Club in Shelby. Play and ride Monday through Friday for $33. After 1 p.m. for $28. Play and ride weekends for $45. And after 1 p.m., $35. And seniors play and ride Monday through Friday for $28. For your tee time, call Deerbrook Golf Club at 704-482-4653. Online at deerbrookgolfclub.com. Play and ride at the Friendly Golf Club today.
Honey, I am officially on break.
Huh?
This cold McDonald's McCafe drink is really chilling me out.
Oh, me too. I'm officially on break from worrying about the weird sound coming from the garbage disposal.
And I'm officially on break from having to think about cleaning out the garage.
You've been thinking about that for 3 or 4 years.
Yeah, it's about time I had a break from thinking about it.
For a limited time, get every size soft drink or Mickey D's sweet tea for $1. Or a small McCafe frappe smoothie or shake for just $2. Prices and participation may vary. A la carte only.
Hi, Daddy. Hi, Marge. Hey, what's that? Oh, that's our new Coyote tractor. John picked it up today. Isn't it beautiful? Well, yes, but it's going to help us get all those jobs done around here. That's great, but... And with Coyote, we get the industry's best warranty. Okay, looks great, works hard, the best warranty, but why? Why is a Coyote tractor in our living room, and why is John snuggled up next to it? He's in love.
Coyote, love your tractor.
Your Coyote dealer is West End Sales, Highway 1827 intersection in Vail. It's the grand reopening of Ronaldo Cadillac Buick GMC in Shelby. Hurry in now for celebration savings. During this grand event, get grand savings like $10,000 off MSRP on a new 2016 GMC Sierra 1500 four-wheel drive crew cab. Get $5,000 off MSRP on a new 2017 Buick Encore. And get $7,500 off MSRP on a new 2017 Buick Enclave Convenience. Come in for all the details during the grand reopening. Ronaldo Cadillac Buick GMC at Ronaldo Auto Mall, 4423 East Dixon Boulevard, Shelby.
All right, welcome back. Saturday Sports Talk. Kevin Hastings, Philip Russ, Terry, excuse me, Texas Terry Reinhardt in the house. We're here to talk about football in the NFL, and I got some stats here to start off with. Super Bowl contenders based on offensive and defensive scoring. Only 5 teams in NFL history have won the Super Bowl and not been a top 12 defense in the NFL. 12 teams make the playoffs, right? So it's really, really simple math. So only 5 teams in NFL history have won the Super Bowl and not been a top 12 defense. So, of the top 12 defense, here are the 8 teams that are in the top 12. Jacksonville, Steelers, Vikings, Panthers, Bills, Rams, Saints, and Eagles are your official 2017 Super Bowl contenders. Now, with that said, before Terry gets all mad at me about that too, I even broke it down a little bit more. Now, of those 8 teams, 5 of them are also top 10 in offense. Can you name those 5?
In offense?
Yep. 5 of those 8 teams. Do you see the top 12 there? 5 of those teams are also top 10 in NFL offense.
Then you got
the Rams.
Seattle.
Rams are number 2 with the number 1 offense and the number 9 defense.
Seattle's in there.
Seattle would be, this is when I say number 2, number 4, number 5, this is if you add them together. So the Rams add up to 10. Seattle's is 10th on offense, 5 on defense. They add up to 15.
New Orleans.
They're number 5. New Orleans is number 4. They add up to 15. They got to 6 offense and 9 defense. Steelers is not a top 10 offense.
Wow.
They're number
Philadelphia.
20. The Eagles are number 3. So y'all have got 2, 3, 4, and 5. That's Rams, Eagles, Saints, and Seahawks have a top 10 NFL defense and offense. Those are your Super Bowl contenders out of the NFC, Terry. Sorry, buddy. It ain't the Cowboys.
You got to say that.
It ain't
Dallas
the
just now
Panthers.
getting all their defensive guys back.
There's 4 teams in the NFC with top 10 offense and defenses. None of them are named Dallas. We still have not named the best team in the NFL. If you go by offense and defense, both of them in scoring.
Please don't say Carolina.
Nope.
And I know it ain't Jacksonville.
Jacksonville Jaguars.
Is it really?
Is the best team in the NFL.
Wow.
Number 1 in
Is that
defense.
not something?
But it's about time.
Number 1 in defense, and with no quarterback, they're number 8
Well, that's
in
what I was
offense.
getting ready to say because they're daggum. They complain about their quarterback every week.
And that's why Terry just walked down the hall. I said if Jacksonville would call the Tony Romo today, they would be the favorite for the Super Bowls because they have. Who are you waving at?
Your mom.
Oh. What's she doing here on Saturday?
She's working.
Oh, I guess so. The Jacksonville Jaguars, if they call Tony Romo, and I would even say Colin Kaepernick because of their offense, would be the Super Bowl favorites in the AFC. The number 1 defense and the number 8 offense. You're wondering where Steelers were number 20 in offense, and the Patriots on defense is not good.
You were talking about the QBR rating right now for Jacksonville. Bortles is 16th in
so he's
the
average,
NFL. Yeah.
and the average quarterback with number 1 defense. Hey, that gets you a Super Bowl appearance, doesn't it?
He should, yeah.
Ravens, Panthers, Bucks.
Yeah, he should be MVP.
Hey, how about
that? A number 1 they're only giving up 14 a game, y'all. NFL average is 24.
Here's the better one. So your MVP, everybody in that blue, everybody likes to talk about Cam Newton.
Wait a
He's
minute.
20th.
Yeah,
Blake Bortles is quarterbacks better than Cam Newton.
Pull up their schedule.
Whose schedule?
Jacksonville's.
What about them?
Well, I mean, I don't care.
They're not playing Mercer.
I know that, but I want to see who they beat.
Well, it makes me feel better knowing the
let's see
QBR's
who they
got Dak Prescott. He's at least number 2, and technically
I
number
mean,
1
look at the
Deshaun's
schedule.
down.
Come on now.
They beat the mighty Texans with Tom Savage.
Okay.
And they did have JJ that game because JJ didn't get hurt.
They
till
lost
late.
to
And that was
Tennessee.
with Savage at quarterback.
Yeah.
Don't forget
That's
that.
what I said. They
Not
lost-
Watson.
They lost to Tennessee.
But they beat the Steelers.
They beat Baltimore in London 44-7. They lost to the Jets by 3.
Shut out the Colts.
Beat the Steelers by a
Yeah,
lot.
that's the big
Stomped
win.
them into the ground,
That is the
30-9.
biggest win they've had. They lost to the Rams,
who is maybe the second or third best
beat
team in the
Indianapolis,
NFL.
which is nothing.
Who do they have
Beat
left?
the Colts, beat the Bengals. Jacksonville finishes. San Diego. That's
Look at the schedule.
Browns,
Yeah, it's
Cardinals,
getting worse for
Colts, Seahawks, Texans, 49ers, and Titans.
Because the Cardinals could be a
Jacksonville's
potential
going to the
loss.
playoffs, boys.
I don't know. Oh, yeah,
One,
yeah. But like,
two,
if you look right there, I see
Who's going to beat them?
Three. Maybe 3 games that they could lose right
They
there.
could lose
to the
San
Cardinals.
Diego. They're not losing to the Cardinals with Drew Stanton.
Well, then they're definitely losing.
Not that defense.
I think they could lose the Seahawks.
They could lose the Seahawks.
The Titans could actually beat
the
them.
Seahawks don't have a kicker or a running game and are still got the number 9 offense.
This is just one of them things where you take the teams at the bottom and give you the easy schedule so you can look pretty for a year, and then we'll send you back the next year back to the bottom.
Exactly.
Hey, that's how the NFL works.
Or let's put it this way: let's give these teams they play. Let's give them back their starting lineups with no injuries. I think Jacksonville's playing off on the NFL having a lot of injuries this year. And, some of the teams they've beat and some of the teams they've got upcoming have significant players playing. They've got a lot of 2-string, 3-string guys playing for Pro Bowlers.
Better call Romo.
Look at the Texans. They have potential Rookie of the Year and Defensive Player of the Year. Both go down with the injury. Out. That just makes them abysmal team in the NFL.
They could have the Offensive and Defensive Player of the Year, and they're both out. Poor Houston Texans. Maybe next year for them. Deshaun Watson looked like the real deal. Coming up, let's look at the standings real quick. Playoff standings. I got lost in my stuff here in a second. I can go back to schedule in just a minute. In the playoffs, if they started today, this is what we like to talk about because you can't win it if you ain't in it. Pittsburgh is the 1 seed in the AFC. New England is the 2 seed. Kansas City the 3. Tennessee 4. Jacksonville 5, and Buffalo would be the 6th seed. So it would be Buffalo and Kansas City in round 1, Jacksonville at Tennessee in round 1.
The biggest thing out of that is Pittsburgh is your number 1 seed. If New England has to go there, they're going to get beat. If Pittsburgh's got to go to New England, you can forget it. New England.
Well, they all better hope they don't got to go to Jacksonville. I'm just telling you.
Okay. Okay.
I'm just telling you. They're giving up 14 a game, Terry.
I don't care.
That's historic.
Just another shout out of Jacksonville. You do realize they got the Shatlick kid from was it East Burke or Ford?
Well, they just traded for the Bills' best lineman, defensive lineman.
Okay, you're the number 5 with one of the easiest schedules of all time.
All right, we got strength of schedule, Terry. You say that. All right, they got a 507 strength of schedule, 452 strength of victory.
Okay.
The 452 is better than New England's strength of victory and the Titans' strength of victory and the Bills. So they got the second.
There's no way in the world you could sit here and say I'm going to bet against Tom Brady playing Jacksonville.
Oh well,
that's fine.
But see, the only reason why I think you do though, Terry, is because think how many times Miami with Tannehill played the Patriots to a game and how close those games. I mean, potentially
played them to a game, but you come out with an L.
Yeah, that's true. But I'm saying, I think that the Jaguars are better than the Dolphins.
Yeah.
And so what I'm saying is Miami always puts up, and I'm not sure, but I think didn't they upset one of the big long winning streaks of New England? New England went to Miami, lost to Miami, then went on to win the Super Bowl. Miami was sitting down there with the trash season, but hey, we beat the Super Bowl champs. So then, you look between the Jaguars and the Dolphins. I mean, I'm going to tell you, they're building some stuff down there, and nobody's really giving Jacksonville the nod, but, you've got Fournette, and you've got some of those other guys in there in a system, bunch of youth. I mean, you're going to start seeing some of these top teams fade.
Kansas City's had the hardest schedule in the AFC. Washington has had the hardest schedule in the NFC. Yeah. Eagles have one of the easiest schedules at 408. Strength of victory, 373. Look at the strength of victory for these playoff teams in the NFC.
Yeah, but didn't they finish last year?
Rams, 353.
But the
Seahawks, 333.
The Chiefs are the biggest choke in the NFL.
Well, Andy Reid's the coach too.
I mean, God, they have a great leadoff season. They goes 8-0, and then all of a sudden it's like come playoff time, it's like who are they?
Yeah, are we here again?
If the season ended today because of the Thursday night game, we had a few things that changed up. The Seahawks winning Thursday night knocks the Cowboys out of the playoffs for right now.
Okay, we haven't played a game.
Oh, well, yeah, you're out of the playoffs. Panthers are 6th, would be in Minnesota in round 1. Seahawks would be in L.A. for the 3rd time this year in round 1 for the Rams and Seahawks. Panthers would be in Minnesota. How you see the Panthers would do there up in Minnie right now. We don't even know who the quarterback would be.
Right.
Bridgewater's come back. They put Bradford on injured reserve. The first player in NFL history, guys, to go on injured reserve and miss a whole season with a bone bruise. He's got a bone bruise in those little bitty ankles. Now, what I want to talk about, my pick, I just said a minute ago before we went to break. Let's look at these New Orleans Saints. Sitting at 6-2, the number 2 seed. That means somebody's coming to the Dome in round 2. Strength of schedule, 538. That's the toughest schedule of the playoff team still in the in the NFC, even in top 7 if you include Dallas there. The best strength of victory at 469 there of all the playoff teams in the NFC. They've won 6 straight games. And we go back over here to the stats. Well, where's New Orleans, did you say? We did mention them a minute ago. The Saints guys are 9th in defense. And we all know that offense is 6th. So when Drew Brees, and we talked about this with Romo when he retired, didn't we? 8-man and Staubach, they had a top 10 defense almost about 75 to 80% of the time. Romo had 2. He went 13-3 and 12-4. When you have a top 10 defense, and this is why I'm saying about Jacksonville, if you're going to be betting in the playoffs, bet on the defenses, because if New Orleans has a top 10 defense and they got Drew Brees, last time they did that, they won the Super Bowl. So you got to be careful with the NFC on that. But the thing about it is, they can be really good guys, but the Rams are good too. The Eagles, the Seahawks. We just went through that. They're all the NFC right now. To me, and I guess everybody else is so much better than AFC. Y'all agree? Disagree on that?
I agree. I agree at this point in time. I do.
NFC East, Terry, is Washington or Dallas? You got Dallas still making the playoffs. You don't think Washington has a run?
I think Washington got too many injuries. And then Cousins reminds me, and everybody always talk about Tony Romo throwing interception at the wrong time. That's what Cousins does.
Mm-hmm.
Cousins throws an interception when you do not need one. But I mean, he's having a hard time anyway because he has no line up there in front of him.
All right, before we take the next break, let's go in and out. Who do you guys still in the NFC playoffs, top 6? Who do you think will not be in the playoffs, and who are you going to replace them with that are in it? They're out.
Carolina's out and Dallas is in.
Philip?
Well, I mean, I don't know.
Because you got Minnesota's got a 2-game lead on Detroit. So if you're going there, Detroit's got to win. If you're betting on them, they got to win 5 or 6 out of 8. So you got to see how you feel about them. Atlanta is 2 games out of 1.5 out of a playoff spot. They'll have to beat out Carolina. You'd have to to get that spot, or maybe New Orleans if they fall apart. But New Orleans seems pretty solid offense and defense. You got anybody changing out?
I mean, I would never count out the Packers. I think that
Packers.
Yeah, I mean, they could bleed back in it. I mean, because if you look,
what?
We gotta make a bet now.
I mean, they haven't made that phone call to Tony yet.
I know.
I mean, that's the only thing that's going to get them
information we don't. He's over here in the green and gold. Maybe Romo's coming to
Hundley. Don't get me wrong. Things Hundley does while he's out there. That just shows how important Aaron Rodgers was for that team.
Yeah.
My goodness.
All right.
I'm not going to say you're wrong, though. I mean,
Here's the challenges you got. It may stay the same 6 teams. Here's the challenge you got. Dallas, they got Zeke for 6 straight games.
It's a big game Sunday with Atlanta.
Exactly. If Falcons lose that game and then they just lost to Carolina, it's gonna be tough for them to come back. Detroit's at 4-4. They gotta hope Minnesota's quarterback issues finally just get really bad and Detroit sneaks in at like 8-8 or 9-7 maybe. I don't see them winning 6, 7, 8 games like that. How about over in the AFC real quick? Any of these teams, Miami, Baltimore, Oakland, and the Jets are on the outside looking in. Can any of those teams overtake Buffalo, Jacksonville, or Tennessee?
No.
No faith in Cutler.
No, but
no faith in Flacco. What about the Raiders?
Out of those 4, I would think the Raiders might.
Raiders can make a run.
They probably could, but dang, what a disappointment.
Yeah.
So far.
I mean, if they make a run, they only got 7 games left. To get to 9, they got to go 5-2 to end this season.
Right.
And so that's tough.
And their schedule's not easy, I don't think.
They got a 507. They got one of the better average worst. No, y'all don't feel nothing about McCown?
Nah.
No.
Okay. All right, It's time for a break. We got to take another quick break here on KTC Broadcasting. We'll be back in just a few minutes to finish up. We got NASCAR to talk about, Terry. Playoffs. We got all kinds of fun things last week.
They're battling
Chase
for one
Elliott's trying
spot.
to fight somebody and everybody else. All right, we'll be back in just a few minutes. KTCBroadcasting.com.
Terry Clark inviting you to join me this week for Country Gold, where we play all your favorites from the 80s and 90s.
Country Gold with Terry Clark, Thursday afternoons 1 to 5 on Big O Country, 1590 AM WCSL, and online at KTCBroadcasting.com.
The Renaissance Festival is back. Once Upon a Time is now. Saturdays and Sundays, September 30th through November 19th. Presented by Harris Teeter and Pepsi. 12 stages of nonstop entertainment.
Because it is just so much fun for everybody in the family. It doesn't matter what age you are.
A medieval amusement park, comedy, daredevil antics, and giant roasted turkey legs.
We love the Renaissance Festival.
Jousting nights, men in tights, shopping, music, dance, incredible value, and delicious foods.
We love to come and eat our way through the festival. Amazing things to eat, the turkey legs and the crepes and everything else. It's a highlight of our trip every year.
The Renaissance Festival is back. Discount tickets at Harris Teeter or RenFestInfo.com.
It's Rib Night Friday and Saturday nights at the Parkway House in Cherryville. Get a half rack of twin-sided ribs for just $9.95. Get a full rack of twin-sided ribs for just $13.95. And remember the Parkway House in Cherryville for breakfast and lunch 7 days a week. Again, it's Rib Night Friday and Saturday nights at the Parkway House, Highway 150 East in Cherryville. For a limited time, Papa John's Pizza in Cherryville has some great kickoff specials. Right now, get any 5-topping or specialty pizza for just $11. But that's not all. Get a 2-topping extra large for just $11. Hurry, offer ends soon. Place your order by calling 704-802-4477. And don't forget, you can dine in too at Papa John's Pizza in Cherryville. Open Sunday through Thursday, 11 a.m. till 10 p.m. Friday and Saturday, 11 a.m. till 11 p.m. Again, place your order at 704-802-4477.
From auto to home to business to life insurance, your hometown agent is Rocky Bennett at Bennett Insurance Group. Rocky has been serving this area for over 33 years, offering you the best in coverage with Erie Insurance. No matter your claim, Rocky will work side by side with you for your best coverage. See Rocky Bennett today at Bennett Insurance Group, 116 West Main Street in Cherryville. Call 704-435-0270 for Bennett Insurance in Cherryville.
It's time to play at the Kings Mountain Country Club. Play and ride on the new cart paths. Play and ride 18 holes Monday through Friday for $28. Seniors 55 and older can ride and play 18 holes Monday through Friday for just $24. Play and ride 18 holes on weekends for just $37. For tee times, call 704-739-5871 for the Kings Mountain Country Club, located on 109 Country Club Drive in Kings Mountain.
Cherryville.
Welcome back.
This is going to be fun.
This
here.
is about to be good.
Yeah.
Campers in of Kings Mountain, Saturday Sports Talk. We've got a special caller on the line, and he waited to call to the last minute of the show.
So he has to answer our questions.
So he's got to go with the segment that it's our segment now. And now it's time to talk a little NASCAR racing with Will Boykins and Philip Russ, our two NASCAR aficionados. Well, good morning, Will.
Good morning.
We need y'all's picks.
Morning.
Yeah, I need your picks for tomorrow's race, Will.
With the standing with Jimmy Johnson where he is right now, I'm gonna ride with Jimmy.
Hey, I like that.
Hey, Will, I like you a little bit
gonna
more.
jump on
every
this
year.
I'll make it easier. I'm gonna go with the best scenario ever. I'm going with the guy with the fastest car.
There you go.
Sometimes that don't always win.
You know, we have to Smoke trying to explain that to Andre, guys. We need to put that on YouTube because the questions that go and answers that go back and forth down the hall during the week about him trying to explain why the fastest car doesn't win the race is just hilarious.
I'm telling you.
Yeah, but Will, thanks for calling.
A lot of times the fastest car don't win the race.
That's right.
It takes a driver, if you got a blown tire, and all that other good stuff. Set up, the crew chiefs. There's so many variables to it that people don't understand. It is NASCAR time, Will. I know you want to talk a little football real quick before you did. So what's up with you, man?
Hey, listen, I heard you talking about my Packers over there and trying to send that guy named Romo down there. I just want to let you know that we don't need him. We're fine. We're going to groom our little young quarterback. And you were absolutely right, Evan. We are going to be a playoff contender here.
Will, you plan on finishing at the bottom of the pack with your quarterback that's in there right now?
Y'all going to be picking behind the Browns. What are you talking about?
I like the young man, but he is not an Aaron Rodgers. And even if he was half Aaron Rodgers, they might take him. But he's struggling.
He looking like Joe Webb out there. Is what he's looking like.
If we're talking about developing, you're definitely talking about developing Derek Anderson because you can't develop an MVP, right?
I mean, it is. I mean, at this point, we ain't gonna get Aaron back, so we got to roll with who we got, and we got to develop it. We got to develop a game around it. Doing that, and I think it'll kick in the 11th season.
Well, we'll see in 2018.
Yeah.
Will.
That's right.
Hey, look, it happens. I mean, like I said, we're Romo fans. He went down the last 3 years, or two out of the last 3 years. It happens. Your season ends early. You just got to find something else to do. Enjoy Crest football right now, green and gold.
Will, you're 4-4, and right as soon as Aaron Rodgers went down, there was a guy that does a lot of broadcasting. First thing he said Green Bay will finish dead last in this conference, and Chicago's only one game back from you right now.
Oh, we won't lose to Chicago. Don't. That's the biggest rival in the NFL football. We won't lose to Chicago.
So you will not finish last.
We're not finished last.
So I'm going to take your expertise of this.
Run.
Yeah.
It's been a good run for Green Bay with all the years they've been in the playoffs. It's kind of like the big run with Crest with all the years they've been in the playoffs. But, I mean, you know, every good thing got to come to an end. You know, some people ain't had that ride that we've enjoyed.
Well, what are you doing? Where are you going with that? You want a participation award for your playoff games?
You know, some people would like just to have a participation award. They haven't been to the playoffs in a while.
Nah, it ain't worth it. I'd rather eat hot dogs. All right. What's going on over at Ronaldo?
Well, we got $10,000 off on 2 Sierra 2016 Sierra trucks. So you got to come down here and see them. They're beautiful trucks out here. 2016 Sierra trucks, brand new trucks. We got $10,000 off. We got 17% off on all Buicks up until the 14th. So if you're looking for a Buick, you need to come out and check out our Buick line. There's a lot of good deals coming out. Just come down here and see me. All
right, Will. If you got Jimmy Johnson winning this week, does that mean you got him winning next week too and finishing it off back to back, or you got Truex, Bush, or Harvick?
I'm looking for number 8. You know, I want him to can be called the greatest of all time. I'm looking for number 8, and once he gets to number 8, it's nobody can have any doubt.
All right, buddy. Well, I appreciate you giving us a call, and I guess we'll see you next week. How many's Crest going to win by next Friday? 30?
Playoffs?
Yeah. What do you mean
playoffs? Talk to me about playoffs.
How many are they going to win by next Friday? What's the spread? 27?
They'll win, but I don't know how many by.
Oh, you too scared. I hear you. I understand.
You're trying to bait me on playoffs. You know better.
Hey, they won by 29 last night. I'm just trying to find the range where we're at right now.
Let's talk about that Shelby South Point game. How many Bessemer going to win by next week?
It is 1 minute past when we're supposed to be done. You wanting to break down Shelby South Point?
No, I'm just saying I'm getting off that Crest game. You're not going to get me to jinx Crest next week.
Oh, okay. Well, Bessemer should win next week if they take care of business. That's what I told Philip Sane, you know. And then next week, if y'all get beat and then we move up, we're going to be number 2 or 3 here in the poll next week after all this is over with. So it should be a good week next Friday night.
and since you're a Packers fan, just put your Packers gear on and come on over to Bessemer City and help us.
I told him all he's got to do is put that B on that C on that crest,
there you go.
And he's ready to rock.
Oh, my goodness. Well, guys, you have a great day. Yeah. Eat your biscuits.
Thanks. Well, they've been done 8. Oh, they've been done 8. Terry had the thickest biscuit you've ever seen. Will, fried bologna and liver mush.
Oh my!
On the same biscuit. Those ain't 2 different biscuits.
That is a great biscuit, Terry. I think I'm gonna have that biscuit myself.
That's it. Have a little mayonnaise to go with it.
Oh God, as thick as it gets. All right, Will. Thanks for calling. We got to get off here.
All right, we'll see you.
Thanks, all right, that's going to be it for Saturday Sports Talk. Real quick, guys. The predictions for tomorrow's race at Phoenix, Sunday 2:30 here on KTC Broadcasting. We'll have that race, and I was trying to see if we've got qualifying yet, and I'm not seeing it, Terry. But the standings right now: Truex, Bush, and Harvick are in. Keselowski's in if he doesn't wreck, and Hamlin, Blaney, Elliott, or Johnson don't win. Blaney, Hamlin, Elliott, and Johnson have to win, right, Terry?
That's it.
And do you have any of them pulling off the big win?
I'm going to be honest with you. I'm going with Will. I think Jimmy Johnson's going to figure out a way to win.
Do they have any incentive not to cheat today or tomorrow?
Why would you not? You got to survive and go on.
I hate to go there, but I mean, the way that NASCAR don't take
what are we going to do
with
with it? The only one they ever took it from was Logano.
Hate to say it like that, but anyway, qualifying Blaney. There you go. He needs a win. Hamlin second. He needs a win. And Kyle Larson. Chase Elliott fourth. He needs a win. Everybody picked Jimmy Johnson. He's 12th. Y'all's picks are awful. Keselowski, good news for those guys, is 16th. He's right in the middle of the pack. And for all you that wanted to know, Danica is 24th. And Junior,
he's probably dead last.
he's 14th. All right, JP, let's get out of here. It's time to get out of here. Milton Baker's over at where's he at over there? You got Milton Baker on the board right there. He came out by him a second ago. I think he's over at Red Rabbit Day. JP can't hear me. All right, JP, it's time for a break. Let's get to the break. More program coming up today. Clemson, racing, and more football. We'll be back on KTC Broadcasting. Campers Inn of Kings Mountain Sports, Saturday Sports Talk next Saturday. Thanks, Philip Russ and Terry Reinhart and John Prather. Good weekend, everybody.
Cherryville Ironman Sports right here on Big O Country, WCSL 1590 AM, Cherryville, Gastonia. Online at ktcbroadcasting.com.
We'll start the weekend with high pressure over us, but also some upper-level moisture drifting through at times. That'll leave us with a mix of sun and some periods of high cloudiness. Should be cool today with low humidity. Our highs reaching about 46 to 51. We'll have increasing cloudiness tonight. It'll be cold with light winds and lows in the upper 20s to low 30s. Then on Sunday, we'll see mostly cloudy skies. A small chance of some sprinkles or light rain, especially toward the foothills. Highs tomorrow 48 to 53. I'm Mike Moss in the Weather Center.
Currently at the Big O Country Studios, it's
I'm Lon Helton, inviting you to join me as I count down the week's top 30 with my co-host Chris Jansen, who just got to play with Keith Urban.
We just did some duets at the Opry a few weeks ago, and it was amazing. And we'd covered some 90s country. We covered some John Michael Montgomery, which was so random. Man, it was just an incredible moment.
That's Chris Jansen this week on Country Countdown USA.
Country Countdown USA with Lon Helton, Wednesday afternoons at 1 o'clock on Carolina Country, 1590 AM WCSL, and online at ktcbroadcasting.com.
Check out what the Green Meadows Golf Club on Kelly Road in Mount Holly has to offer. On Wednesday, you can play all day for $28, including cart and green fee. And ladies, Wednesday is your day too. Ladies play and ride all day for only $15. To make your tee time, call the Green Meadows Golf Club at 704-827-9264. You'll love it. The Green Meadows Golf Club, located at 957 Kelly Road in Mount Holly. Come see what they have to offer. Today's game is being brought to you in part by R&M Motors, Tire and Auto Center, and Pawn Shop of Cherryville. R&M does all types of major and minor repairs, including custom exhausts and inspections. Plus, they sell cars, trucks, and custom and stock golf carts, plus four-wheelers, dirt bikes, and more. In the pawn shop, you'll find guns, gold, and silver, and everything in between. And they buy and trade at R&M Motors, Tires and Auto Center, and Pawn Shop, both located on the Dallas-Cherryville Highway.
Sitting at the bar, sipping on a regular Coke. We were drinking and smoking and making him the butt of our jokes. We all said, man, what happened to you? Why can't you just have a few? He said I would if I could, but it's probably best that I don't. 'Cause the more I drank, the more I drank, and I'm the world's greatest lover and a dancing machine. I get loud, I get proud, and it gets worse. Well, if I have one, I'll have 13. Now there ain't no in between, 'cause the more I drink, the more I drink. A couple of cold ones and somebody hands me a shot. Hell, even bucktooth and bow-legged women start looking hot. I'm bumming cigarettes and sweet talking some big brunettes. Yeah, once I get on a roll, there ain't no telling where I'll stop. 'Cause the more I drink, the more I drink, then I'm the world's greatest lover and a dancing machine. I get loud, I get proud, and it gets worse. Yeah, if I have one, I'll have 13. Now there ain't no in between. 'Cause the more I drink, the more I drink, the more I drink. Yep, yep. That's what I'm talking about. Man, if I have one, I'll have 13. Then they can't get me off the karaoke machine. The more I drink, the more I drink. Yeah, the more I drink, the more I drink, the more I drink. One more night, one more down, one more round. First one in, last one out. Giving this town lots to talk about. But they don't know, but they don't know. People say I got a drinking problem. That ain't no reason to stop. People saying that I've hit rock bottom just 'cause I'm living on the rocks. It's a broken hearted thinking problem. So pull another bottle off the wall. People say I got a drinking problem. I was a boat stuck in a bottle that never got the chance to touch the sea. Just forgot on the shelf, no wind in the sails, going nowhere with no one but me. I was 1 in 100 billion, a burnout star in a galaxy. Just lost in the sky, wondering why everyone else shines out for me. But I came to life when I first kissed you. The best me has his arms around you. You make me better than I was before. Thank God I'm yours. I was a worn out set of shoes, wandering the city street. Another face in the crowd, head looking down, lost in the sound of a lonely melody. Empty pockets in a roulette, always landing on a lost bet. Just live for the spin and hope for the win, go all in just to lose again. But I came to life when I first kissed you. The best me has his arms around you. You make me better than I was before. Thank God I'm yours. The worst me is just a long gone memory. You put a new heartbeat inside of me. You make me better than I was before. Thank God I'm yours. A boat stuck in a bottle that never got the chance to touch the sea. I came to life when I first kissed you. The best me has his arms around you. You make me better than I was before. Thank God I'm yours. The worst me is just a long gone memory. You put a new heartbeat inside of me. You make me better than I was before. Thank God I'm yours. Thank God I'm yours. Thank God I'm yours. Thank God I'm yours.
Every night I go through, why can't I forget you and start my life anew instead of having sweet dreams about you?